From the edge of Godzilla at Ironman Raceway in Crawfordsville, Indiana, this is GNCC Live. Hello, everyone. I'm Rodney Tom, along with Mikey Waynes and Landon Wolf, as we bring to you one of the most, I think impressive and maybe infamous races on the GNCC schedule, the Ironman GNCC. And Mikey, I tell you, as we get set to celebrate this one, 25 years is what this will celebrate as far as how many times we've been coming to this illustrious racetrack. It all began back in 1995. Craziness and mayhem have taken place every October, it seems like, ever since.
You're exactly right. For me, it feels good to be home. This is my home. I know these Indiana fans are going to go nuts today, but so much history has been made here over the years, and we've been coming here now for longer than a lot of our riders have even been alive.
That's true. And honestly, I'll tell you, it brings something new each and every year, whether it's dry and dusty, whether it's warm, whether it's cold, rainy, and wet, maybe even some snow flurries, whatever the case may be. It always seems to bring something to the end of the season. There's so much going on here as far as championships are locked up.
It's true.
And some folks are going for broke. It's silly season. Some folks are trying to put that explanation on the end of the season. So it's going to be a kind of an exciting race day, I think.
You're exactly right. And, of course, Cole Richardson coming off his second win as a pro, but first win of the season. Do you think he can wrap up the season, put a message out there to the rest of these XC1 guys?
Well, I'll tell you, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me a bit. Watching Cole over the last few races, and the biggest part of the season, honestly, he has given probably Walker Fowler some of the most straight-up competition that I've seen any rider hands down do it. As far as shadows go, it's been a little mishap here and a little mishap there that I believe has kept Cole off the podium and in the center of the box so many times already this year. So I think now that he's got momentum on his side, and maybe in the back of Walker's mind, he knows what Cole's capable of. This could be an interesting day as far as the ATV racing is concerned.
You're exactly right. And of course, John Glotter wrapping up the championship in the Xc2. So now that one's wide open. We are right here, the end of the season, silly season in full effect. And I believe we're going to go down to Landon Wolf on Pro Row to get his input on how things are going down there.
Thanks, guys. I'm going to be down here in Pro Pits all day long trying to get a peek at what everybody's strategies are and how their race is going during the race. Looks like we might have a little bit of wet weather. Could play in some people's favor, and we could have a mix-up today. So really looking forward to it. And like I say, hopefully I'll be able to fill you guys in as the race goes on, and looking forward to a good day of racing.
Thanks a lot, Landon. And as we said here just a few moments ago, standing on the edge of Godzilla, this is just one of the small factors, I guess, of the 2019 Amsoil Ironman GNCC 13-mile racetrack. Mikey, I tell you, this racetrack is going to be pretty challenging. Now, they won't be running this Godzilla here today, but they will be running parts of the motocross track, and the rest of the race course, as always, has, I think, some of the most famous obstacles in GNCC.
You're exactly right. So we're going to take a look at some of those details, or at least hear about them. We'll take it down to Jared Bolton with the track description.
Thanks, guys. Welcome to the Ironman. You know, if you ever took a poll of all the racers who raced the entire GNCC series, I guarantee you that the majority of them would tell you that this is their favorite race. And that's exactly for a good reason. There's a little bit of something for everyone out here. And I know what you guys are thinking. Oh, great, here he goes again. He says this every race. But that is absolutely true about the Ironman. There's fast trail, there's tight trail, there's technical trail, there's fast sections, slow sections, cornfields, motocross, great dirt. And the running joke around here is if you ever want to build an epic backyard track, the dirt you want for it would come from right here at the Ironman. This is a phenomenal facility, a beautiful race course, absolutely produces some of the best racing all season. Everybody wants a chance to go out and end the season on the highest note possible. This could be the most epic race of the entire season. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Jared. And Mikey, I tell you, one of the places to be, obviously, is going to be Ironman Hill. I know Twin Peaks is also a fun place to be, but Ironman Hill, thousands literally of people are going to be down there. It's going to be mayhem and madness, that's for sure.
I cannot wait to get to it. All right, we're going to get a word in with Cole Richardson coming into today's race.
You know, I really like Ironman. It's treated me very well, and it's treated me very bad. So, I mean, the objective this year was obviously I just wanted to really be able to back up my win from last year and, you know, just get a win, and this one feels actually better than the first.
Well, Mikey, I tell you, the stage is set on this one, and honestly, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's what I like most about Ironman, I think.
You're exactly right, Rodney. All right, the stage is set. We're going to get a word from our sponsors, and when we come back, Rodney Tomlin will be down on the starting line, ready to get this Ironman GNCC going.
Consistent clutch feel is vital to effective starts or to confidently maneuver around obstacles on the trail. AMSOIL synthetic dirt bike oil was subjected to an extreme simulated start test. After 32 simulated race starts, AMSOIL synthetic dirt bike oil continued to deliver consistent clutch feel, and the clutch plates remain clean with no visible wear. The competitor's oil, however, allowed discoloration and significant wear after just 16 starts. AMSOIL synthetic dirt bike oil. Give your bike the protection it needs.
The all-new Yamaha Wolverine X2. With a compact chassis, perfect for exploring tight technical terrain. An ultra-quiet and smooth 850 class twin-cylinder engine. And next-level versatility with a 600-pound dumping cargo bed. No other side-by-side delivers this level of proven off-road performance. The all-new Wolverine X2 from Yamaha.
Tonight is the 13th of 13 sermons through the ages and through the pages.
Yeah, that's it, through the ages and the pages. Tonight we get to wrap it up, and actually we'll have a we'll be doing the chapel service, but I've got a guest guy there. Trampus Parker, two-time World Grand Prix champion, is going to be on hand, and I've asked him to just share a little bit with us. So, man, he's got an incredible story, and he's going to open up our chapel time, and he's got something special that God's put on his heart. Some cool things have happened in his life lately. So, man, if you want to hear a little bit from Trampus Parker, definitely stop by at 7 o'clock at Team Faith, and we'll hear from Trampus. Then I'll wrap things up through the ages and the pages, and it's I know it's going to be a powerful night tonight.
Powerful night, powerful weekend too, all around. And Tim Cotter, as we roll into this Saturday, lots of things still going here today.
Yeah, and I was just coming over to make sure that we spoke about Trampus. They came from West or East Texas, Louisiana, up for this race. He brought Terry Cunningham, AMA Hall of Famer, just an icon in off-road racing. They're here. They're going to see all the glory of Ironman. They've not been to Ironman. Terry hasn't been to a large off-road race in quite some time. They're running vintage motorcycles. I think they got a couple of old Huskies down there that they're getting ready to bring out. So there's, it's so good to see guys like Trampus come here. We've known him for years and his family, and now Terry Cunningham coming back. We got reunited with Terry last year. About this time last year, he was inducted into the American Motorcyclists Association's Hall of Fame, and nobody deserves it more than Terry Cunningham. And he has got a great story as well. He's very humble and appreciates what motorcycling has done for him. So this is a prime opportunity, great opportunity tonight to go to Team Faith, not only hear the great message from Chuck, but to hear the words from Trampus and meet Terry there. It's going to be a good night for sure.
It is. And Tim, one thing that I want to point out, when people come to this particular event at Ironman, we have a great championship series. We have some premier events. There's no doubt about it. But when we come here to Ironman, it's not only a premier event, but it's almost like a fall festival of off-road motorsports.
It is like none other. Tuesday morning, I got here Monday. Tuesday morning, the line started. And the first person pulled up in line. When I got up Tuesday morning, I believe they were there. And then that grew and grew and grew till we had that field half full over across the street. And we let them in, and they filled up again. And they just keep coming and coming and coming. And it's sobering for us at Racer Productions. We realize it's important to these people. It's the last time that they get to go out and enjoy Mother Nature before old Mother Nature starts blowing the white stuff around. The corn is getting in the barn. These folks folks have worked really hard in the harvest season of farming. Many of them are attached to the agriculture nation, and it's somewhat of a celebration. I mean, we're standing on a bean field. The cornfield that you're parked in, they talk about, you know, an acre of corn does what, and the products that come out of corn is amazing. And we're able to race on top of this ground, this very fertile ground. So it's pretty cool to be here, and it's really interesting to be here at this time of year. You know, we're here in June, and we're here again in August for Pro Motocross. But when we come here in the fall, it absolutely is a celebration. Many of you guys say, boy, you guys are long-winded today. We're still stalling. They're still pulling people out of the woods. We're listening to them in our earbuds that say, well, we're getting him at the 8, and we got him at the 7, and the guy at the 6 left his bike. Remember, guys, don't leave your bike. That's part of the problem. We're there to pull you out, but we can't pull it out without somebody there to pilot it back. So don't leave your machine, or it's going to prolong things. So Terry Cunningham, Trampus Parker at Team Faith with Chuck Masters. We're so blessed to have Chuck.
Amen on that. At 7 o'clock for chapel services. Also, again, I do want to reiterate, while we got a quiet moment, we will be doing the pink backdrop auction tonight. So the Ironman backdrop that you see that we are using on the podium this weekend is a brand new backdrop that was made specifically for our pink out race here at Crawfordsville. So if you would like to take that home and hang that up in your garage, a piece of history, we will be auctioning that off tonight prior to the just before the Craig Morgan concert, and that'll be right around 9 o'clock, maybe just a few minutes before. But as Tim Cotter did point out, we're expecting a break in the weather, and it is on. The Craig Morgan concert is on for tonight. A EMTB GNCC has been canceled and will not be rescheduled, so that's a done deal for the evening. But everything else seems to be all systems go as we move forward here in the GNCC racing world, and of course work this wonderful day. Mike Brown, Moto Mike, making his way out. Voice of the IXCR, one of our sister series out here in Indiana. Mike Brown, I see you got a pair of powered gloves. What's going on with that? Are those heated gloves you're wearing?
I'm not going to tell you they're heated, but my fingers are feeling quite warm right now.
Well, that seems like a nice little innovation there. I don't know how well it's going to hold up in the rain. I'm sure they probably thought about that ahead of time. But Mike, I tell you, here we are. We're at the end of this Grand National Cross Country Championship season. From what I understand, you guys have another race or so in IXCR?
We do have our finale of the year coming up next week at Rock Run over in Rockville, the covered bridge area of the United States, and it is always a great event to go to. And Tim, Michelle have everything all set up. I tell you what, the campfire that we have in front of the podium is unbelievable. They will cut IXCR in a bunch of logs and then light the bonfire. We'll have a great time. We have scooter races, which is my specialty. By the way, did you check the ruckus out right here behind you? Oh, yeah, that's a bad machine right there. But scooter races, pit bikes, we'll do strider races, and always at the end of the year, power wheels. And there's at least 15 power wheels that show up for this race. Little kids, and we just have a great time. Tim puts on a big pot of chili, and we feed all the racers and celebrate the final race of the year.
And that's coming up next weekend, right?
That is for sure next weekend, and hopefully the weather's going to be a little better. I know we're a little wet here, but IXCR started the season in snow. I'm just hoping we don't end in snow.
Ooh, doggone, that would be a definite way to bookend your season, no doubt about that. I think we kind of started out with some rain, and they're ending with some rain. I can't remember if it rained in Florida now or not. It don't matter at this point. We have so many races. But so just real quick for the folks that don't know about IXCR, how many round championship do you guys have?
We usually do, I believe it's 11 rounds. As an announcer, you just kind of show up. What round is this? So I think we do 11 rounds, and then I got to tell you, Rodney, you're always invited to come to the IXCR year-end banquet. It is the banquet that ends all banquets. It's a very cool deal.
Hey, I might even come next weekend for the IXCR finale. That sounds like a lot of fun. Definitely out here in the heartland of America, in this great state of Indiana. As again, for those of you just tuning in on RacerTV.com, welcome to Crawfordsville, Indiana once again. And we are on a slight bit the delay, trying to clear over 500 riders that made their way onto the racetrack this morning for that 10:30 start.
Yeah, I know there was over 500, and then we were looking at a couple laps in, and it was like up to 270 that checked in. So that kind of made the prediction of it's going to be a little bit of cleanup on aisle 5.
Aisle 5, mile 12, mile 13, and that's what they're in the process of taking care of right now. Oh, all right. So come on over here. Let's talk to some of these guys that were out here. This little guy right here. You look cold and wet right now, are you?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Ryder McCormick.
So what class did you ride in this morning?
90cc in the micro.
So how did that work out for you?
It was fun. It wasn't muddy.
That's what I heard. I heard that the youth course, you guys had like a perfect racetrack out there this morning, huh?
Yeah.
How did you do?
First.
You got first? What class was it again?
90cc.
Now, what does that do as far as the championship is concerned for you? Did you win a championship?
Yeah.
You did. So you got a #1 in your class. You got the win here at the end of the season. That's got to be making you feel pretty good. What was, tell me a little bit about the season. What was so special about the season? What happened this year? A lot of good things?
Yeah, and some of them were muddy and some of them were not, but it was still really fun.
Do you like the mud?
Kinda.
Kinda. Well, where are you from?
PA.
And what was your name again?
Ryder McCormick.
Ryder McCormick. Oh, I didn't recognize who you were. I didn't realize that's who you are. So you're Lane's little brother, right? And Alicia's son, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So, Ryder, good to talk to you, buddy. Congratulations on your win, man. I can't wait to see what next season holds for you. We got another little fellow over here. He raced. Now, that was a micro rider, I think, this morning, right? You were in a micro class, so he had a really perfect track. What's your name?
Logan Gilman.
Logan Gilman. I recognize that name, Logan. So tell me, what class you riding in?
125 junior.
Oh, yeah. So where are you from, Logan?
Greenfield, Indiana.
So you're an Indiana boy, huh? So tell me, how did this Indiana mud treat you today? Tell me about your race today.
It was pretty good. I didn't have any problems, but I spun out a couple of times in the fields.
Slowed down a couple times in the field?
I spun out.
Oh, spun out. I imagine that was probably easy enough to do today, huh?
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you like riding in the mud?
Yes.
What place did you end up getting today?
I don't know.
You haven't even looked at results, huh?
No.
If it was based on fun, you'd be first place overall, right?
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Glad you had all that fun. What was your name again? Logan?
Logan Gilman.
Logan Gilman, congratulations to you for being here and tackling the Ironman GNCC, and it's certainly challenging conditions today. Hey, if there's anybody else that's raced this morning, like to come over here and talk to us a little bit. You guys race this morning? Did you? Come on over here. Talk to me. What's your name, buddy?
Evan Bridgewater.
Evan, what was that?
Evan Bridgewater.
Brickwater. Okay, Evan, nice to make your acquaintance. So, Evan, where are you from, buddy?
Greenfield, Indiana.
Another Indiana boy. Now, is GNCC your forte? Do you come to all the GNCCs?
No, only Ironman.
Only Ironman. Are you an IXCR guy?
No, MWXC.
Ah, so you got your own series, and you come out here and pay visits with us out here. I think that's pretty awesome, man. So tell me, what class did you ride today?
125 junior.
And how did things work out for you in that class?
Good.
What place did you get?
I think 13th.
Really? That's a challenge. Now, what was the track like out there?
Really slick.
Really slick. Do you know this guy behind you right there? You know who that is?
Adam McGill.
You guys buddies? I guess you are now, aren't you? Adam McGill, welcome to Crawfordsville, Indiana, man. It's a far cry from West Virginia, where you definitely shine the brightest, it seems like. But, man, I tell you what, the last round of the season, you got to be looking for some good times and some good things out of this, huh?
For sure. I mean, we put the big tires on, the big monster truck tires. We sealed up the motor the best we could. Definitely don't want to suck any water in it today because it looks like we're going to be riding a lake. I'm just kind of wondering if I should have brought my jet ski.
Maybe. I'm beginning to wonder the same thing.
I've heard rumors that when it floods out here, they ride jet skis in cornfields. That's just a rumor, you know?
It's not a rumor. It's true. I read it on Facebook. So here we that is Adam McGill right there. And we finally got Jared Bolton on, mud in his face, grit in his teeth, and everything else. A big smile. Jared, I know that you the track crew, I know you guys don't get enough credit, but you guys are working your tails off out there today. Pat on the back to all of you. Thank you for what you're doing out there. Tell us what we've got to look forward to.
Yeah, thank you, Rodney. Like I told the morning, and now it is really, 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 really slick. You know, I'm not one to give riding lessons because you guys are a lot better at this than me, but this is going to be one of those days that momentum is your friend, smooth throttle is your friend. Just like Adam said a little bit ago, you know, you don't want to do anything that could end the day early. It's there's a lot of standing water out there. Some of it's pretty deep, so just be really, really careful. Kind of a survival run for you guys. But with that said, there's actually still some really, really fun stuff out there too that you guys are going to love. So you're going to take off from the start here, work your way over to the woods. A little section of woods here, pop you out on the motocross track. Work your way around a little bit of the motocross track, and then you're going to come over like you're going into the finish, but you're actually going to bypass the finish your first time by. This means your first lap is going to be just a little bit longer than the rest. So you'll bypass the finish line, work your way around the motocross track, back off through the motocross pro pits, fast little section there. You're going to drop down into a rocky little creek bottom, run out through that, and it'll pop you back up in the field. Good stuff through there. Bring you over the 1 mile mark, and then you're going a little bit of woods, a little bit of field, a little bit of woods, and then a big section of field that takes you all the way to the 2 mile mark. Good stuff through there. Pretty slick out in that field, so just be careful with that. You're going to get from the 2 to the 3 really quick. There's a bike-only section in there that you guys aren't running, so don't worry about it. Good little trail from the 2, drop back down in that little rocky creek section again, and you're going to pop back up to the 3 mile mark, come back across the motocross pro pits on the other, go to the other side of the property here. You get back around, you're kind of going down through the motocross staging area, across a little slick bridge. Same thing, that bridge is really, really slick. Just kind of tiptoe across it. I know you guys can't fall over, but you can definitely slide into the side of it. And downs, little valley sections. Those are really slick. Those valleys, you're going to want to carry your momentum all the way into it and hit it hard going back out because those are really, really slick. That'll bring you back around. You're the 5 mile mark, you won't see the 4. It's on the bike section just like before. You work your way over the 5 mile mark. Good stuff, zigzagging back and forth. You'll actually get a little bit of fresh trail there. Pop you back up in the field again. Through a couple more little valleys over the 6 mile mark. And then you got a big field section all the way around the field. Cross over a road over another piece of the property here. And that'll pop you back in the woods, bring you over the 7 mile mark. Work your way through there. And then you're going to come down the creek. You guys are going to go the way the morning went. You guys are not going to do Ironman Hill, and before everybody jumps on me, you know, hey, you wouldn't even make it there, to be honest, and I don't think you guys are going to complain about it too much, but it's, with this weather, it's just really, really bad, and, you know, we hate to take that out, but, you know, there's just no way that it's safe or feasible to do today. So you'll actually skip that. You won't see the 8 mile mark. You work your way back in the woods, a couple more little ups and downs. Bring your back around. Good stuff over the 9 mile mark. Little technical downhill, creek crossing. Come back around, some faster stuff over the 10. Right before the 10 mile mark, along the road there, kind of close to Ironman Hill, there's a big mud hole. Bunch of different ways through it. If you go way, way, way left, it's the slowest way possible through it, but it's also the easiest way, and it keeps you out of that water. That'll bring you back around. Another little wood section back out in this big field of the 11 mile mark. In and out of the pro pits, back in the field again where you started at over the 12 mile mark. So with a little bit taken out and the bike section you guys aren't doing, you guys are still right around 11 miles. Really good stuff out there, even though it's really slick. Still some fun to be had, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So good luck, be safe, have fun, and the arrows have mud on them, but, you know, pay attention to them the best you can. They won't steer you wrong.
All righty, thanks a lot, Bolton. And of course, with that, want to remind you, safety first. GNCC racing, like all motorsports, can be dangerous. Racers, now that you have had an opportunity to inspect the course, have heard the race procedures and a description of the course, if you feel that either you or your machine is not prepared, then now's the time for you to withdraw for a complete refund of your entry fee, no questions asked. It is your responsibility to operate your machine in a safe manner, maintaining control at all times. Extreme caution is required when approaching areas with high concentrations of race fans. Do not take unnecessary risks that endanger the safety of fans. You will be penalized for reckless racing. Race fans, due to the nature of GNCC racing, there is no fence barrier around the course. It is your responsibility to keep yourself and your children a safe distance from the race course. Never turn your back on oncoming racers, and remember, stay off the racetrack. And finally, for the safety of everyone, unauthorized drones are prohibited at GNCC and will be confiscated. And now to ask a blessing on today's race, Mr. Ricky Towery.
Thank you, Rodney. Hey, let's go to the Lord and have a word of prayer together this afternoon. Heavenly Father, once again, we thank you for bringing us all together safely so we can have some fun together. We just ask you will watch over these riders this afternoon, Lord. Let them go out there and keep them safe. Let them have fun together. Once again, watch over our military men and women in all parts of the world. Be with our leaders each and every day. Lord, we just thank you for the blessings that you give us. We thank you for the landowner for letting us use this piece of property to enjoy our sport. Lord, we know the holiday seasons are just right around the corner. Help us spend some time with our families and remember what the holiday seasons are all about. Lord, we race in the dust and we race in the mud all year round, but it don't matter what the conditions are. You always let us have fun, and we thank you for that. Just take us all home safely when it's over with. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you would, please remain standing. Stand at attention and remove those caps and cross those hearts and shut them down out there, guys, as we honor the greatest nation in the world with the playing of our national anthem. Soil GNCC Series. Hello once again, everyone. Rodney Tomlin, as we welcome you again here on RacerTV.com along the World Wide Web through Facebook and through YouTube. YouTube and, of course, through live stream. And what a beautiful day we've got on tap if you like the rain and you like the mud. And certainly the conditions are definitely on the unfavorable side if you were looking for dry and dusty conditions. But nonetheless, we are poised and ready to go racing with one championship locked up. Walker Fowler celebrating number 5 already. We got the 2nd through 10th place positions that are jockeying for the overall top spots in this final round of racing. How will it all pan out? Stick around to find out. Let's meet our starting lineup. Rolling to the line first today, riding aboard the number 1, hailing from Rogers, Ohio, on a factory Yamaha backed by GBC Tires and Fly Racing, celebrating his 5th GNCC title, Walker Fowler. Rolling to the line second today, in points, aboard the number 4 from Bidwell, Ohio, on a Lansville XC, CST Tires, Hauser Racing Yamaha, Bryson Neal. Rolling to the line today, third in points, is a 6-time GNCC champion, holding 75 wins, the most of any GNCC racer in history. From Sunbury, Pennsylvania, on a Maxxis Fly Racing Yule Cycle Barn Suzuki, Chris Borich. Rolling to the line today, 4th in points, he rides aboard the number 5. Fred Schaffis win just 2 weeks ago from Edinburgh, Pennsylvania, on an Action Off-Road GBC Moto Wasback Yamaha, the Coal Train, Cole Richardson. Rolling to the line next, 5th in points, he rides aboard the number 2 from Casca, Pennsylvania, living up recently to his nickname of the Sneaky Snake. Brought to you by Maxxis, Elka, and Moose Racing, it's Jared McClure. Rolling to the line 6 today, aboard the 521 from Waverly, West Virginia, on an Ober Moose Racing Parts Unlimited McGill Mafia Honda, Adam McGill. He is 7th in points, the rookie in 2019, aboard the number 9 from Newfield, New York, on a Maxxis Ithaca Recreation Sports WPS Fly Racing Yamaha, Hunter Hart. Riding aboard the 741, he is ranked 8th in points, an AMA ATV Pro Motocrosser and XC1 Pro GNCC racer from Myersville, Maryland, on a Ryland Johnson Racing GBC Motorsports Yield Cycle Barn Suzuki, Wesley Wolf. The number 12, he hails from Aurora, Ohio, celebrating his 25th season as an XC1 Pro on a GBC Fly Racing HMF factory-backed Yamaha, Johnny G. Johnny Gallagher. 10th in points, he rides aboard the number 11 from Akron, Ohio, on a B&R Motorsports, GBC Motorsports, Hauser Racing Yamaha, Josh Merritt. And rolling to the line next, he rides aboard the number 7. He hails from Richford, New York, riding on an MCR GBC Motorsports Moose Racing Honda, Marty Christofferson. The number 406 from Windsor, New York, on an MR Unlimited GBC Tires RJR Honda, Devin Feehan. The number 14 from Ithaca, New York, on a Custom Axis Gold Speed Hauser Racing Yamaha, Greg Covert. And last and certainly not least, recently crowned your Xc2 Pro-Am champion from Waxhaw, North Carolina, on a Pierce Performance Fly Racing Maxxis Tires Yamaha, the 712 of John Glotta Jr. And that, ladies and gentlemen, your starting lineup for this AMSOIL Ironman GNCC, as our riders find their way onto the start line now, and they begin their start sequences of their own. Obviously, we talk about the rituals that these riders have, and many of them do as they go through their final rituals here. Ricky Towery readying the rest of this field of riders. We are now, I believe, less than 2 minutes away, and the next time we see Ricky Towery stepping out and stepping up here, he will be signaling to us about 1 minute away from going GNCC racing here in the fields in the heartland of America and this great state of Indiana as Ricky Towery finds his way to the first turn. One minute, guys. 1 minute, says Ricky Towery, away from going. All righty, getting some word. So we're waiting and getting, I think, some signals, trying to find out for sure if we're ready to go. I know that the course is being worked on right now and trying to be cleared out. So as soon as we get some official word, stand by, folks. Apologize, but when you're on the fly, shooting from the hip in the middle of a cornfield, or a bean field in this case, in the heartland of America, and you're at the mercy of Mother Nature and everything that it throws at you, and of course the great contingents of riders, over 500 in that 10:30 race start this morning, and of course getting that all cleared out right now as we are readying ourselves for the start of this scheduled 2 o'clock race here on a Saturday, as it looks like our personnel are telling the folks to calm them down for a few moments. So that's a pretty good indication that we may still be a couple of minutes away from being ready to go. And joining us here with, of course, Junior Trail Boss is Jared Bolton. And Jared, you know, when we come to a situation like this, some people may not understand what's going on. You know, we've got a scheduled time that we're supposed to go, and all of a sudden, you know, we're going, and then we put the brakes on. And I don't think people understand quite the many different things that are going on right now and get us to this point. And we certainly want to make sure that everything is good to go before we send these guys out on the racetrack.
Yeah, absolutely. And it comes down to safety, too. We want everybody to be safe. We don't want these guys go flying around and end up running into somebody. You know, you may say, hey, they're off the track, you know, let's just go ahead and start, but that's not how that works. You know, you got to make sure everything's clear, and you know, it's not clear yet. This is my 10th season working with this series, and I don't think I've ever seen this many guys broke down at the end of the morning race. So
that's pretty impressive, I think, on a lot of different levels. And just to point out, man, I mean, we talk about you, we talk about Ryan Eccles, we talk about Jeff Russell, but what we don't talk about is the army of help that you guys have out in the woods. So I mean, we have a crew that goes along with us, and then here in Indiana, we've got even more.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's not our not just our regular guys, but you know, the Shavers have a lot of friends here that they come out and help us, and even with extra help on hand, you know, we're still out there struggling, because yeah, actually a normal race for us, you know, we've got a good group of guys that can get stuff done quick. But, you know, there's not 20 guys out there. There's really, you know, just, you know, a good handful of us. We're just fortunate that the handful we do have are very, very good at what they do.
No doubt about that. So tipping our hat to the unsung heroes, the GNCC trail crew. There's no doubt about it. The guys that are working hard. I know people come up to me and say, oh, this is miserable. You got to be hating life. And I'm like, you know what? I love my job. I got the greatest job in the world. The job that I wouldn't want to be doing today is Jared Bolton, Ryan Eccles, Tommy Harris, Jeff Russell, one of those guys. You know, you guys certainly deserve a lot of credit and a lot of pat on the backs. But the one thing that folks don't realize, I mean, there's course changes that we got to go through, especially with conditions the way they are, and like you said, making sure that the racetrack is free and clear. As of reports right now, we're almost there, but we're not quite, right?
Yeah, we're getting close. We're getting really, really close. It's pretty impressive that for how many there were, that, you know, there's still not, you know, 24 of them still sitting out there. It's, you know, we're down to the last few guys now, so really we're getting pretty close, and see how many of you guys have much better luck than the morning guys did.
Well, hopefully there's a little better luck coming some of these folks' ways. How's the track breaking down? I know we see sloppiness and nastiness on the top in these fields out here, but I have to think that maybe the conditions are a little bit different out in the woods.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit different out there. And you know, everybody always says, if it keeps raining and you keep the water on it, I like that better. And me personally, as a racer too, that's definitely what I prefer. But you know, when it stops raining, it gets really, really, really sloppy. So we're actually kind of thankful that it continues to rain in one aspect.
Go interview Joe from Honda.
All right, so Jared, with that, I appreciate your work, man. I appreciate everything that you guys got going on and the amazing things that our trail crew does. Like I said, you never get the credit that you deserve, so thank you. I think we need to bring you all up on stage at the banquet. If most of those guys don't even show up, they're wore out by that time, right?
Yeah, exactly. We always call that the 14th round, and some of those guys, they probably feel like, it's round 17 or 18 to them.
I don't doubt that a bit. Thanks a lot, Junior Trail Boss, Junior Trail Boss there. Jared Bolton here with us, and we got some special dignitaries here with us, of course, with our good friends here from American Honda that have made their way in. And if you've been watching the GNCC much in here in the last few years, you've noticed a little more presence of the Red Riders that make their way here to the GNCC. We saw it a few years ago, and now we see it with Phoenix Racing really stepping up into the off-road world, and not only into GNCC racing, but ATV racing, Supercross, arena. There's so much going on as far as Honda, and to see the great support and to see the red back out here at the GNCC, man, it's really awesome. Jason here with us from Honda Riders Club of America, and good to have you out here. Red Riders, I don't know, just seeing the red back out here, seeing those two semis out there by the finish line, seeing the unit on Pro Road, it's just so nice. Welcome back, Honda, to GNCC Racing.
Well, thank you. It's this is a family atmosphere, and Honda's all about the family. So we're just out here trying to have some fun with Phoenix Racing. We're actually we brought a couple editors from Cycle News and Racer X. So we're gonna do a somewhat of a 250 RX race press intro today. So like I said, we're out here to have fun. It's a little bit wet, but hey, that just adds to the experience, right?
Exactly. Now I have to. Is this your first GNCC experience?
Yes, it is. I'm Southern California all the way, so to come out here, I came out to Ironman about 5 years ago and rode the motocross track and spent some time in the woods, but it was for another event. So yeah, this is the first hardcore GNCC getting down and dirty.
Well, man, we're glad to have you here. Hope to see you back a lot more in the future.
Thank you, sir.
All righty, sounds good. Jason there from American Honda, glad to have those folks here with us, and to see that we've got Cycle News editors, and we've got Racer X contributors that are going to be racing on the Phoenix Racing Honda team tomorrow, and going to be writing some stories and telling us about all the wonderful things about the Honda, and of course about this amazing event itself that we know and love as the Ironman GNCC. 25th running of this Ironman GNCC this weekend. Really an amazing feat in and of itself, because when we go to a lot of places, sometimes we go to a lot of places and we get the opportunity to go for just a handful of years. Some places we get a chance to go for a lot of years, and this is one of those years that are one of these places that we call home. And another young lady that I think is probably feeling this place is home, she spent a lot of years recently in this one, is going to be one of our two-wheel WMX stars, or WXC stars, I'm sorry, that is going for the national championship. Becca Sheets, I know that coming down to the final round of racing like this for the WXC class may not be the way that you wanted it, but you're in the running for this one, so it's going to be all gloves off tomorrow when it comes down to you and Taylor Jones hitting that first turn, I guess, huh?
Yeah, definitely. I think we're both out there to win tomorrow, but with these conditions, I'm just going to have fun with it and hope for the best, because it's all we really can do.
All you can do. Now, looking at it from this perspective on a Saturday, I know sometimes that can be a little bit overwhelming to you, but at the same time, we know that it's supposed to clear up, so 24 hours from now might not be this bad,
Yeah, I mean, all the mud races we've had so far this year, the track crew has done an awesome job with giving us a really good tacky track for Sundays, and, I have high hopes. It was pretty dry here, so I think it's just going to soak it up like a sponge, and we'll have some good ruts out there, and we'll make it work.
There you go. Pretty challenging season. Tell us how we got to where we are now.
Yeah, it's been a tough battle all year with Taylor and I and Mackenzie, who just kind of all three out there for battle all year, and we've had you know, a couple other girls on the podium with us, like Rachel Archer and Rachel Guttish, and yeah, all the girls are out there putting up a good fight, and it's been an awesome battle, and it's been an awesome time. Just seeing our class improve this year, it's been sweet.
Well, I'll tell you, it has been sweet. It's been nice to see the amount of, we've got 3 different women's classes, I believe. We've got the WXC, we've got a women's class, and women's novice class. Each one of those with well over 10 riders in each class. Love to see the future of women's class racing in off-road for sure. And thank you, Becca Sheets, for taking the time to talk with us, as she'll be going for the WXC championship tomorrow. But right now we are getting ready to roll here, and let's take this opportunity to run down the start line. We don't get this opportunity like hardly ever, or if at all, so we're going to take this chance right now. We're going to start with Marty Christopherson and the Ridgeford Rocket out of New York. And Marty, I know, buddy, this may not have been the best season you're looking for, but I know you're really looking to cap it off here today, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I think everybody on the line is going to tell you got to get a good start and see who can skim across that pond first. But that'll be kind of a good start to the day if you can get through there and just end on a high note for the year.
And I know that you're looking for and hoping to end the year in a top 10 overall position, to have a top 10 number heading into 2020.
Yeah, just outside of that right now, with a little bit of luck today and a good ride, could get back into there. So that's the goal.
All righty, sounds good. That's Marty Christopherson. We move over here to the 741, the rider that does double duty. He's already been here twice in 2019 as an AMA Pro ATV racer for the regular season, and then the season finale wrap-up during the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross National Championship there at the end of August. We're talking about old WW Wesley Wolf. And Wesley, I tell you, man, some struggles this year, but what I've seen out of you this year is it's been some amazing feats. We've seen you work forward and seen you make some great strides, it seems like, especially toward the end of the championship seasons.
Yeah, you know, it's a third time here. I guess maybe a third time's a charm, maybe. But Marty said it's going to take a little bit of luck. You know, I think it's going to take a lot of luck out there today if they're still pulling them out. So today it's just survival.
Survival. Have you done anything special to help survive today?
Throwing a little extra tape, taping up the airbox, and trying to keep mud out of the radiator, keep her cool, and put some gauntlets on to keep my hands dry, but they're already soaked, so might as well just throw that idea out.
All right. So it sounds like today's going to be a bit of a challenge then, huh?
Yeah, most definitely. You know, you got to make sure you got your crew out there every other mile trying to help you get through everything.
Well, I hope they're in all the right places for you, man. Have a good day today, all right?
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that's 741. Wesley Wolf, as we move over here to the young one, the young gun, if you will, Hunter Hart, our 2019 and only rookie for this 2019 championship season. And wow, I know, Hunter, you and I had the chance to talk earlier today and several times. Been a whale of a season for you, man. You've learned some major things as far as 2019 is concerned.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's definitely been a big growing year and learning year, and I'm pumped. You know, the rain, Adam and I were talking about it, and yeah, we're super pumped on the mud. I'm excited to see how it's going to go out there. The more it rains, the better I think it's going to get as the day goes on.
And I know that you're one of those riders that are in hopes of being able to finish a little stronger in the championship, depending on how the rest of the running order finishes today, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to get this day on the show on the road and see how today goes.
All righty, well, good luck to you, the young one, the rookie Hunter Hart there, riding on the number 9 machine.
Hey, folks. After visiting with our officiating staff here and understanding how difficult it's going to be to retrieve bikes, and we're fighting darkness, we're telling you right now that we're going to run 1.5 hours today. It's a 1.5 hour race. So everybody keep that in mind. We're going to call that now a 1.5 hour race.
All righty, sounds like a good move, and obviously I seen a head nod of agreement here from Adam McGill. Adam's like, yeah. Hour and a half sounds good, huh?
Yeah, the quicker I can get out of here, the quicker I can drink some beer at this concert tonight.
There you go, and that's what you're looking forward to. Now, as far as the years go, maybe not the year you'd hope for, 1-4, but at the same time, it's been a good year. And to wrap it all up like this at Ironman and to get to watch Craig Morgan, that makes it an even better year.
For sure, man. I mean, it's one of them years years that I wouldn't say it's a bad year. It's always a learning year. If you take something out of it every year, no matter what your finish is, you've always won, in my opinion. But, you know, we made a lot of good strides. You know, my dad's getting older. His mustache is getting more platinum, and it's getting a little harder to get through him. But I think we're working together today. You know, we'll be back for 2020. Everything's done. All the deals are good to go. And, you know, I've got a couple companies like Over Products or Over Tires are coming in. We will be available in January, and we're looking for some riders. So I'd love to be able to get some resumes and be able to check that over and help be able to, you know, choose some 2020 lineups. But as far as today, man, it's a crapshoot. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how you prep. It's all going to suck. And, you know, at the end of the day, everybody's out here running the same track you are. Just put a smile on and just say hell with it.
And have fun, right?
Yeah, that's all. That's why we're here. That's why we do it. So just smile and just grit your teeth and just have fun playing in the mud and just hope to God everything makes it till the end. That's all you can hope for.
That's it. And like we say, man, I think these moisture and inclement conditions offer maybe sometimes some of the best memories. And it sounds like with the way things are firing up, we're about ready to go. So we're going to talk to Cole Richardson and some more of these guys. But fortunately, we get to go racing now, and maybe we'll get a chance to talk to some of these guys a little later on. So our start sequence is now getting underway here. And all attention once again turns back to Ricky Towery up there in turn number 1. As the warm-up has begun, that usually signals about 2 minutes before an anticipated waving of the green flag. And right now, Ricky Towery is taking his position in the first turn, checking time, checking with course officials, timing and scoring, getting the all systems go. Rundown. And once we have checked off every one of these, we will be able to send these nearly 200 XC1, XC2, and A and B riders into the rolling hills of Indiana. 1 minute, guys. 1 minute before we go racing here at this Ironman GNCC. And what an exciting race and battle we are anticipating here, no doubt. As the next time we see Ricky Towery, he'll be waving that blue flag. That will be a dead engine call. It also will signal 30 seconds for the start of the race, the waving of the green flag. As we focus on Ricky, and Ricky waves the blue flag. Shut him down, guys. Shut him down, shut him down, shut him down. We are now less than 30 seconds away from going GNCC racing here in the mud and the beautiful soil of Indiana. And before we get that underway, Indiana race fans, you're out here in the mud, you're out here in the rain, you're out here in the cold. So I'm going to ask you, are you ready to go GNCC racing? Wow, that's pretty good. But again, like I said, we're out here in the rain, we're out here in the mud, we're out here in the cold. So I'm going to ask you one more time. Let's heat this place up. Are you ready to go GNCC racing? 10 seconds. And row number 1, the XC1 Pro, will be off and rolling at the AMSOIL Ironman GNCC. $250 up for grabs in our Whole Shot Award. Brought to you by Wiseco and All Balls. And at the stripe, it's going to be Walker Fowler. Fowler followed by Chris Borich in second. And Adam McGill will open up in the number 3 spot. Moving next to the Xc2 Pro-Am, Drew Landers, Tanner Walker, Seth Wilson, also Jordan Poplonsky, Matthew Blankenship, Charles Dunn, Kenny Schick, Ben Kowalewski, Braden Owens, also Nicholas Royalty. Looking at Michael McAvoy, Jacob Wishmeyer, Austin Gorley, Wyatt Wilkin, Chance Kellison, Austin Abney, Brent Henke, and Lane Boy. Guys, gonna have to move from there. I can't see Ricky. So we were less than 10. Here goes our XC2 Pro-Am class. Very clear. And out front, here in the XC2, it's the 22 of Tanner Walker out of Berlin, Pennsylvania on a Cinerock B&R Freedom Power Sports bag machine. Now, if we can get our papers apart, we'll go to row 3, which I believe will be our... college or junior A 22 plus class in 10 seconds. Josh Haney, Luke Shepard, Dylan Taylor, Blaze Taylor, Tyler Palmer, Derek Way, Bruce Weiland, Nick Davidson, Alex Elioff, Cy Head, Cade Vanderpool, Trey McDaniel, Grant Glashagle, Andrew Phillips, Jacob Tomey, Jeremy Hill, Justin Ison, Gage Crispman, Jonathan Cryenbull, and Jeremy Ladon. And early lead. I couldn't quite pull that one off. The number was already covered in mud, so I don't know who got the early lead. We'll go to the Vet A30 Plus class next. We got Jeff Pickett's Big Papa P here with us, Chris Conklin, the Marlboro Man, Todd Muscala, Aaron Hendershot, James Green, Derek Warren, Jeremy Gouchard, Jeremy Food, Walter Shoemaker, 10 seconds. Matt Lundwall, also Dirk DeCesar, Kevin Yoho, Justin Lewicki, Mike Lancaster, and Brad Whitehead. And they're off in the Vet A30 Plus class. Everybody's sitting there. Looks like the rooster tail's just flying out. And is that Big Papa P? Jeff Pickens grabbing that early lead, I believe it is. On the 21, man, it didn't look like he was going to be able to do that heading into that first turn, but certainly made things happen as we get to the Senior A40 Plus class next. Michael Hayes, Jason Noble, John Salsa, Tom Barrett, Mark Batson, Dale Batson, and Brian Shaw all ready to roll next in 10 seconds. The Senior A40 Plus class off and rolling. Who's it going to be out front? Will one of our former motocrossers, Mark and Dale Batson from Media All-Stars, be able to make it happen today? I believe it was Dale Batson, Media All-Stars, Lone Star Racing Rage ATV rider out of Ida, Michigan, pulling the whole shot here in the mud. Way to go, Dale. College A coming up next. Alan Daniels, Tyler Swindle, Davis Brinson, Chase Petro, Jack Kidd, Dylan Hagerman, Casey Simmons, Garrett McCord, Aaron Gorley, Daniel Peters, Alec Vanderpool. 10 seconds. Jace Denny, Noah Mickelson, Chance Hickey, Trey Seifert, Ben Parsons, Ben Burchard, Nate Harvey, Chase Allison, Mike Gasper, Gavin Jenkins, Dylan Walraven, Rhett Cox, Jared Cochran, Corey Vanderliner, Cale Howard, and Mikey Nichols. All right, here we go. That was Dylan Hagerman out of Binghamton, Kentucky. There was Ben Peterson out of Indianola, Iowa, but one of those two got the whole shot, I'm pretty sure. The Junior B 22 Plus class, Colton Kasuda, Charles Marshall, Calvin Richards, Bryce Gray, Aaron Page, Travis Mathias, David Kite, Neil Tolston. 10 seconds. Chris Leak, Nick Dillon, Bailey Dufik, also Tyler Willey, Kevin Lukoski, Jacob Alball, Jesse Elkins, Joseph Murphy, Matthew Tittle, Lane Perkins, Travis Tyler, Travis McConaughey, and Brant Barna. Junior B 22 Plus class being led out. Whoa, big pass there. Was that? Might have been Colton Kasuda or Travis McConaughey. I can't remember. Couldn't quite see with the mud. Vet B30 Plus class, Nick Miller, Michael Johnson, Travis Talbert, Daryl Short, Justin Elkins, Cody Holcomb. Also looking for Dave Ashby, Ray Perry, Wesley Smith, Clint Thompson, and Cody Stewart here in the Vet B30 Plus class. Ricky Towery right now trying to help clear that first turn as he finds his position in post now and signals these riders. Again, the dead engine stop. We know we're less than 30 seconds away, and Ricky Towery informs this next row of riders, the Vet B30 Plus. 10 seconds. And rounding that first turn, couple of riders side by side. Is that 7:07 possibly? Yes, Clint Thompson from Coal City, Indiana, grabbing the early lead in this one. I don't know how I did it, but I just got mud in my mouth somewhere, mud flying everywhere. Greg Phillips, Stephen Kepler coming up in the senior B40 plus class, along with Dan Dakota. Also Jason McCoy, Jason Limley, John Colvin, Nick Lambruno, Robert King, Nick White, Kyle Ulvey, Robert Stevens, and Scott Yoddison. 10 seconds. Well, as we knew, the forecast coming into this one was a nasty one, and some over 800 entries on today alone of these ATV riders. As the 4:04 of Jason Limley out of Mount Morris, Pennsylvania, leads the senior B40 plus class. We go to the college B. Dalton Keys, Grayson Eller. These guys have got a battle going on for the national championship in this class right now. Also Trey Redmond, Corey Rogers, Rose Garden, Ramey Wilkinson, Zach McIntyre, Braylon Secura, Cade Alexo, Kobe Clark, Cale Klein, Nathan Moore, Cody Edwards, Lucas Kapler, Aaron Vickery, Samuel Eisen, Brandon McFeely, Sam Zambati. Also looking at Carter Holder, Ryan Meyer, Aaron Greenwell, Josh Turner, Tanner Green, Will Randolph, Zach Wright, Hunter Godsey, Zach Moore, Cody Forrester, Curtis Ballsback, Tyler Rumke. Less than 10 seconds to go now. Brandon Golitz, Caden Ryan, and Keegan Walker. College B off and rolling now. Grayson Eller from that Phoenix Honda Racing team grabbing the early lead in this one, as that motocross star making those Maxxis tires hook up out here in the mud of Indiana. Keep doing that in front of the bigwigs, we might see a new four-wheeler produced someday. But nonetheless, folks, that's the way it happens out here. College B off and rolling, and some 200 riders here this afternoon traversing their way through the hills and flatlands of Indiana. Well, that's going to wrap it up from the start. We're going to pick things back up here in a few moments, try to find out who's where, who's up front, and what is going on out there on that race course. Stick around. Mikey Waynes, Landon Wolf, and myself will give you the call coming up right after this.
Consistent clutch fuel is vital to effective starts or to confidently maneuver around obstacles on the trail. AMSOIL synthetic dirt bike oil was subjected to an extreme simulated start test. After 32 simulated race starts, AMSOIL synthetic dirt bike oil continued to deliver consistent clutch feel, and the clutch plates remain clean with no visible wear. The competitor's oil, however, allowed discoloration and significant wear after just 16 starts. AMSOIL synthetic dirt bike oil. Give your bike the protection it needs.
What is your passion? Hitting the perfect line, finding the perfect trail, routing the perfect adventure, or just living and breathing the moto life? Do you feel pride for a job well done after tackling a late night in the shop? Do you enjoy time spent with friends and family in the great outdoors? Spanning over 3 decades, one name has taken the lead for supplying the best powersport parts, accessories, and apparel to fuel your passion. One name that knows it goes beyond getting you the best prices, quickest shipping, or largest selection. One name that builds and innovates for our industry. One name that teaches, helps, and supports our fellow riders, racers, and organizations. We are Rocky Mountain ATV MC. We have transformed a team of moto enthusiasts into a powerful teaching team to ensure that you make the best purchasing decision with your hard-earned cash. We build communities with fellow riders to provide you with all you need to make a good decision. See customer photos, reviews, Q&As, and more while you're on our easy-to-use website. Need help fast? Live chat with our specialists, email, or drop us a line. Visit us today and experience the best in OEM and aftermarket parts, accessories, apparel, and industry-leading information. We offer lightning quick shipping, free on orders over $75, a huge inventory, free apparel exchanges both ways, and customer service that leaves all others behind. Experience one name that leads all others. Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
The action is just heating up, and we're just getting started. Stay with us, live action on RacerTV.com.
The all-new Yamaha Wolverine X2. With a compact chassis perfect for exploring tight technical terrain. An ultra-quiet and smooth 850 class twin-cylinder engine. And next-level versatility with a 600-pound dumping cargo bed. No other side-by-side delivers this level of proven off-road performance. The all-new Wolverine X2 from Yamaha.
Born of family values and a homegrown work ethic, Cometic Gaskets seals your machine so you can focus on the finish line. Cometic Gaskets are the competitive standard for racers who demand the very best. Cometic Gaskets are constructed from superior materials designed to perform in the most demanding environment, whether it's championships on the line or a day in the dirt with friends. Professionals and enthusiasts depend on Cometic. Cometic Gaskets, sealing championships since 1989.
This Racer TV broadcast is brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. Specialized Turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. And by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
GNCC GNCC Live. I am Mikey Waynes. You've already heard from my colleague Rodney Tomlin down there on the starting line, and joined in the booth now by a 2019 4x4 Pro Champion and winner here today. No, you didn't win. What am I talking about? Robbie Pecorari won.
Robbie stole the show. Don't give me the credit today.
I know. I should not.
No.
It's just repetition, I guess, because you've won so many this year. But yeah, credit where credit is due.
Absolutely.
Robbie Pecorari took the win today. Well, Landon, here we are, Ironman Raceway. As the folks at home already know, as the folks here already know, it is chaos. It is exactly what we expect out of an Ironman. It's rainy, it's muddy, probably more rainy and muddy than we've seen in years past.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think it was 2011 maybe we had a mudder here, but I don't even know if it was as bad as this one. And we biked the track yesterday. The track was bone dry, and it was just track conditions were phenomenal.
You're exactly right.
About 8 o'clock this morning, and I figured it couldn't get that bad in a couple hours, but holy cow! Like you say, I raced this morning, and it was not pretty. And it's not pretty for these guys either.
It was not pretty, and if you missed the starts, I think we're going to take a look at those start replays now for the XC1 and the XC2. That XC1 start, who is the one guy you don't want out front at the start of a race?
Walker Fowler.
Walker Fowler, and he's there. But I know Landon was watching him a moment ago on the moto track. Walker, I believe, is still out front, but those top four guys still tight last time we saw them, and they're tight right here. Borich was all over him there early on the whole shot.
Yeah, and Adam McGill's now up to the number 2 spot. So here we have the Xc2 Start. I didn't get to see who got the whole shot on that one. Looks like Tanner Walker's got a good jump. I'm not sure if he crossed the line in first, but it sure does look like it. Yep.
There you go.
Sure that's Tanner Walker. It's hard to tell. Everybody's
yellow trash bag.
Yeah, you're really not sure, but
it's only going to get worse for us.
Well, we were standing here right at the 1 mile mark, and these guys, I saw Jared McClure had a good start, and already his goggles are off. A lot of the XC1 guys have already lost goggles. Clearly there was a mix-up early on in the race. Borch dropped back a few positions. McGill came up a few positions, and man, it is just already a lot of chaos out there.
As you can see, chaos for this rider right here. Was a chain broke?
It's looks
off
that way. I just can't imagine getting your bike that dirty just to ride that far.
He did not get very far. That is a heartbreaker. Yes. Well, we're going to take a look now at I believe the Yamaha Racing track map, give you guys an idea of exactly what these riders are going to face out here today. There it is. So that is pretty accurate, I will say, and I know you guys don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear it either. There is no Ironman Hill today. I know it was kind of the controversy. Oh, no B riders up it. Well, now we don't even have to worry about that that conversation because they took it out due to the conditions. From what I understand, they couldn't even get to Ironman Hill. I don't know how they could.
They got to go down by the creek there, and I know it's just we raced near there this morning, and it is just very, very wet, and these guys might have made it up the first lap, but man, it would have probably caused some serious accidents if they would have had to attempt to go up that hill.
Exactly right. So you saw for a brief second there the FMF PowerPoint, and now these riders moving here through our Monster Energy Monster Mile. And as we always kind of joke, may not be exactly a mile, but it's going to feel like one. And all right, you've heard from me and Landon. You've seen the track map. We saw the start replays. Let's hear from the riders' perspective in the XC1 and XC2 class about their expectations coming into today's Ironman GNCC.
Raining all day, and conditions are going to be muddy. I don't mind the mud. I've always liked it, never shied away from it, but would we want it to be dusty, a straight-up race? Yeah, but we ain't going to get it today, and it's going to be nasty, going to be cold, going to be wet, muddy, so whatever happens, happens. We're ready. Bike's ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to just go out here and have fun and do my best, and I'm not afraid of the mud, so bring it on.
You know, obviously today's going to be a mud race. It's a survival race. It's raining, it's cold, it's windy, the track's going to be wet, a lot of creeks, might float down them later, I don't know, but you know what, we've always, I don't want to race in it, but we've always seemed to do good in mud races, so you know, when I was younger, I always used to ride in the rain for some reason in the mud, and I think that's also helped growing up, but you know, they kind of suit my style, I guess. You know, like I said, we've always done good in them, but we've also done bad. But, you know, it's going to be a survival race. We can't go backwards in points, but we can go forward. So, you know, I really have nothing to lose. So I'm just going to go have fun this last race of the year. And, you know, if the cards fall in place, they fall in place.
The mud is a love-hate relationship. It's kind of an equalizer, yet it's all about being smart out there and, you know, possibly running big tires. So, you know, it gives you even more of an advantage over those ruts.
Well, one of the big things I picked up on that is Drew Landers saying it's the equalizer, and that's a big thing. You hear people talk all the time, Lena, and you can talk to it more than I can, obviously, but you always hear people kind of giving that debate, well, I do really well in the mud, or I hate the mud. At the end of the day, you all got to race in it. You've all got to race that same track.
It's very true. No, I mean, I don't like the mud either, but it's a very good equalizer for a lot of people. It gives some people that might not have a shot at winning the XC1 class today, you know, with all this mud, it might give them a shot, and it would be cool to see some of those underdogs take advantage of the mud being the equalizer and get you know, Marty Christopherson and that back of the pack and get them up there and give them a shot at getting a win or getting on the podium.
Well, this almost looks like Howard's Hole. I'm not going to lie. I'm not comparing the two by any means, but when I glanced at that, I thought for a second it's just missing the West Virginia rocks and obviously elevation changes. We don't have a lot of that here in Indiana.
No. So that's Twin Hills there, but it's kind of a tricky thing. You know, normally it's just kind of a straight shot up. The quickest way up is straight up the middle. This year it's a little bit different. Honestly, I think the quickest way is all the way around the outside
to the right hand side of the screen.
No, to the left hand side of the screen. But they're going to be coming at us.
You're right.
They're
you're right. They're looking
from the left side there. Now there's an easy way up the hill, but you have to take a detour out around a bunch of trees to hit that easy way. But with the traffic out there and the how slippery those hills are, and the worst part of it all, or the toughest part of it all, the people in the way and not being able to see which lanes are open and which lanes are blocked. So it's going to make for some, I think there's like 8 different options to roll up this hill, so going to make for some good action there.
Just 2. That's exciting.
Yes. Normally it's maybe 2 or 3 options, and now we have at least 6 options to roll up that hill. But joining us in the booth now is Mr. Rodney Tomlin.
Options, man. We love options. There's no doubt about it. You know, someone brought up the point to me, asked me the question a little bit ago. Do you remember, when's the last time you remember a race so muddy? And I was like, X Factor.
This year?
Indiana. And there was another.
The other Indiana race?
There was another race. I don't think it was limestone, but didn't we go to Tim Poppercorn's house or somebody's house? They had a place, and we went, and it was kind of like in their backyard.
In Pennsylvania.
That was Foxborough.
Yeah,
that was the golf course. But the one I'm thinking about is here in Indiana. We had a no wake zone. We literally put signs up on Pro Road, no wake, because the water was so deep and the mud was so deep. You had to drive through there slow, and we meant it, no wake, because mud was pushing up everywhere. Not quite that yet, I don't think.
No,
but
not quite.
We do have our challenges set forth for us. Landon Wolf, congratulations on your championship again. And wow, what a day out there for you. I'm sure you guys have already talked about the challenges that are set forth for these riders. And Landon, my big question is it doable? I mean,
100% doable. Honestly, the worst part is your eyes. Everybody's eyes out here. I know Kevin Cunningham returned today, the reigning champ from last year for 4x4. He struggled with his eyes. Right? Yeah, I did too.
But Rodney and I may have been stirring the pot on that one Friday night a little bit.
Everybody was, but
who we got here?
No, that's just that's early on in the lap. But the toughest part, the field sections with all the mud out there. You know, these fields out here are tilled every year, I suppose, for whatever kind of farming they're doing out here, and the rain on them, they are turning into like soup. So it's tough to keep your goggles clean, and it's breaking goggles. I know a bunch of pro guys are already missing goggles out there.
Well,
right now.
I'll tell you this much. It was funny. One of the start stewards came over after the start of the race and stood where I stand at my table underneath the tent, and he's like, "Good Lord, Rodney, how'd you?" So this is halfway up my leg. Yeah. I'm about I worked the hole in. You're right. It's very soft. Standing there, I sunk in the mud almost about halfway up to my knees. Believe it or not.
Yeah. The field sections are just absolutely brutal, and you know, normally out here in Indiana, these huge field sections that we get to race through are what we get to do a lot of passing in and whatnot. But today, there's pretty much one line through the field sections that is somewhat polished off from everybody running that same line.
Yeah.
And so to try and get out of that line and make any passes is really, really tough.
It is. Yeah, you paving new waves may or may not be a great thing today. You know, maybe if it starts getting a little sloppy in some of those places, you might have to start venturing out in some of those unran places, but you don't want to until you absolutely have to, because you don't know what's out there.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's a lot of situations out there where it's not always going to be the fastest guy ripping through the trail that is going to get to the other side quickest. You know, it's a lot of being smart and taking your time today.
Hey, speaking of being smart, this young man right here rode a very smart 2019 Youth Championship season, saying congratulations and welcome to Parker Henderson, our 2019 AMSOIL GNCC Youth National Champion, man. It's going to make you feel pretty good, huh, Park?
Yes, it does.
All right, man. So we wrapped that up. Was it last race you actually got the championship locked up, or was it today that the official word was made?
Yeah, it was last race.
So here you've had 2 weeks to revel in being a national champion. What's the last 2 weeks been like for you, man?
Just racing at local series, practicing, getting ready for Ironman. I knew I already wrapped it up so I could calm down on some of the stuff that I would usually do and just focus and have fun this race.
I'll tell you, a very consistent season for you this year. That pays huge dividends, huh? Tell me a little bit about the year for you.
Yeah, Florida, I did really good. I was leading for a lot till the last lap, and then we came up on a bottleneck. All the rest of the races, I was up on the podium every single race till Black Sky. Chain came off and it bent it, but I still ended up finishing. That was my worst race all year. Then the next race, I wrapped it up because no, I didn't wrap it up that race, but the next race, if I would have gotten the podium, I would have wrapped it up. But I didn't, and that put me in a better situation. All they had to do was get 13th overall or better to wrap it up, and I did that last race, and I was able to win the whole thing, and my whole family is really proud, and we just wish we just keep going until it ends.
So what's the plans for next year? What are you doing next year?
I'm going to schoolboy senior.
Awesome. So you'll be riding in the 10 o'clock race then. We got riders coming here, it looks like. Landon, what we got going on, man?
Yeah, I haven't really been able to see much, honestly. They're running up that far side, so they're taking the easy way up the hill, which is surprising. And I haven't seen them come out around the corner, but like I say, I'm sure that will start to change as the race goes on. They'll have to start taking more option lines once they get some lappers in the way.
Well, as we continue to watch these guys visiting with Parker Henderson, our newly crowned AMA National Off-Road Champion, and of course Parker with the season, like you said, you had a very consistent season, hitting the podium most every race out there. Coming into this season, I know that you came, what was it, the number 8 you were wearing coming into 2019, if I'm not mistaken, or was it 7 that you were, what was your number?
It was 8.
Number 8, but that's what I was saying. So you were 8th ranked coming into the 2019 season. What was your plans? What was your hopes? Is this what you were setting out to do, to win the national championship?
Not really. I never really thought I would ever get here. Back when I was on my DRR, I always saw the pace that the kids on the 150 was at. I just never thought I would get here. I was 8 2 years in a row, and then coming in 2019, I was doing really good. Like you said, I was on the podium practically every single race, and that consistency is one of the biggest thing in racing, just being there and being ready.
Well, congratulations to you for being able to pull that off. Congratulations to you on the national championship. And one more time, I just said, how does it feel to be a national champion?
Feels awesome.
And I guess I can ask the same question to Landon. How does it feel to be a national champion, L-Dub?
Yeah, it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. You know, it's something that you, like he was just saying, it's something that you dream about for a long time. And you know, there's only a select few of them out there. Not everybody can get it, so now it's a really good feeling.
And I tell you, the youth races in general at GNCC are nothing to shake a stick at, man. I mean, coming into that one, there's a whole host of competition, and you never know who's going to be bringing it from week to week to week. But consistently, Parker was able to make that happen, and I'm really proud. I'm happy for you, and I know this. Whenever you are able to achieve things such as this, and not even realizing and recognizing the talent that you have, I think there's a lot more that we haven't even seen untied yet, and whenever you unleash yourself, it's going to be pretty interesting. Good luck. I look forward to seeing you around quite a bit in the future, Parker.
Thank you.
All right, that's Parker Henderson. He is the youth national champion as we continue to watch here at Twin Hills. I called it Twin Peaks, but good job, man. We continue to call it Twin Peaks, or I called it Twin Peaks in the opener, but it's Twin Hills. Whatever the case may be, it's about 6-8 different lines that have developed in this particular portion of the racetrack today, and the reason for that obviously is because of the conditions, and these conditions not necessarily the most favorable, but again, not the worst we've ever seen, and I'm going to stick to that. We have shortened the race to an hour and a half due to the conditions with the hills and the threat of bottlenecks, and more importantly, getting everybody out that may not make it out because of the daylight hours. We're losing that quite a bit, and we want to make sure that safety is of the utmost importance. We got trick-or-treating coming up tonight. We got Craig Morgan coming up tonight, and tomorrow we got two-wheel action, and tomorrow morning's race going to be featuring one of these this lady like this right here. We're talking about Mackenzie Tricker, who is
speaking of trick-or-treating.
Trick-or-treat. Oh, that's what that was.
I was wanting to bite on that one.
Never even thought about that.
That was pretty funny, wasn't it?
It was fun.
There's Walker Fowler coming through the FMF PowerPoint just now. Looks like he has gotten the whole shot.
Wow.
It looks like he has checked out on these boys. In true Walker Fowler fashion.
Yeah, that's a check out Charlie move right there if I ever saw. Walk away Walker.
yeah, this is impressive. But
wow,
Mackenzie,
look at that.
What do you think of the track? You liking the looks of it so far for tomorrow?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? It looks fantastic.
You know what? If they had told me yesterday afternoon at 5:30 was going up 15 minutes, line up on the line and race, I would have been 100.
I said the exact same thing.
I would have been down for that. So the track was mint yesterday, and I'm hoping that how dry it was, maybe this rain will be okay. I don't know. I'm just trying to be confident about it, but it's kind of hard to be. I mean, I watched the Xc1 guys go through those rollers on the motocross track on the first lap, and the amount of water that was coming up was...
It's a lot.
Look at that. Extended pit stop. Walker getting goggles, actually wiping the ice out and drying them off and getting another fresh pair of goggles there. I mean, there's no sense of urgency whatsoever.
No, I mean, that's the benefit of having a lead like that. He had plenty of time. Looks like he got his face washed off. And don't tell me this is just second place now.
Oh, mercy.
Holy cow.
Who is that?
That looks... It's a Yamaha for sure.
Is that?
It's all right, let's take, it looks like Cole to me, but it could
Richardson.
be Bryson.
Yeah.
It's definitely a Yamaha. But, man, see what I'm saying about those fields? They are almost impossible.
That is Bryson.
That's got to be Bryson. There's a big boy sitting on that four-wheeler.
Yes, he is. Hey, Mackenzie, you're here, and, you know, we talk about the racing coming up tomorrow, but what I want to talk about is the ISDE coming up. You're getting ready to head to Portugal, I understand, right?
Yep. We leave next Sunday and be racing for the Australian Women's World Trophy team. So I know we got a lot of American fans here, but
hey, you know what? I'll pull a little bit for Australia.
I'm definitely not American, but I mean, I spend most of my time here, so.
Hey, you've been Americanized.
Yeah.
That's the important thing.
But yeah, I mean, hopefully, if it rains there, this mud this weekend might help us a little bit.
There you go.
Prepare for it.
I love the positive mental attitude that you have going into that one. And Mackenzie, I understand you basically got everything ready to go. A couple little fundraisers you got going on out there. I know we got somebody made this bike, but it looks like it's got Ohio State color. It looks like an Ohio State football helmet, the way it's painted up. It's really cool. I don't know if you know the Buckeyes or anything, but anyway, it was donated to you for fundraiser purposes.
Yep, that was donated. Good friend Nick Rupert donated that to me, and then had some other friends also donate a gun. I don't know what type of gun. I'm Australian. We don't
you don't use guns?
Guns are highly illegal in Australia. So, but for a lot of people here, guns are cool. So they donated me that, and then I just also thrown in a signed jersey. So, yeah, there's been a lot of people buy tickets, and I thank them a lot for that. And I mean, every little bit counts. It's obviously pretty expensive to go over and race. So, yeah, we're going to be drawing that tomorrow, and hopefully got some lucky winners out there.
Awesome. Sitting there watching what's going on right now. Landon Wolf heading out of the booth. I know he's got a couple things that he's got to do, but we just watched the pit stops coming through there. Saw that number 7 machine there is, missed the number on that one. Is that one of our top pro riders that we're seeing coming there? You see 82 machine. I believe that might be one of our Xc2 riders there, and I lost all my paperwork in the rain, so it'll be tough to give you a name right off the top of my head. Some of these guys I just can't remember, you know.
I actually can't believe the water that's on that cornfield.
I know that it's just standing right there, and again, whoa. Twin Hills, somebody actually trying the difficult part of Twin Hills, and you see what happened there. That looks almost reflective of what we've seen at Ironman Hill in years past, except that guy was able to ride that one down instead of the quad flipping back behind him, though. Wow. I
was just actually talking to Dylan about spots tomorrow that's probably going to be bad, and there's a hill right here kind of directly into the woods. It's like maybe mile marker 4 just before the bike only section, and then this Twin Hills. And I said, you know what, I wouldn't go there because there's going to be a ton of people already there. It's the places that there's nobody that's going to be a problem. You know, there's no spectators out there standing there on the side. So it's tough to try to figure out where's going to be the tough spots for tomorrow.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Twin Hills seems to be the place to be. And it's not Ironman Hill, but the crowd is starting to find it. We're starting to see the crowd filter in there since they did close Ironman Hill due to the conditions for today's race. Again, the race has been shortened to a 90-minute race rather than a 120-minute race, or an hour and a half instead of 2 hours. And here comes another rider going up Twin Hills, and will he make it? We can't see the name and number, but hey, we got a rider that made Twin Hills there, and I guess that right there is a pretty major accomplishment from what we're seeing right now, Mackenzie.
Yep, definitely. I think momentum is going to be key tomorrow, especially right now as well for these guys, you know.
So,
carrying speed.
With these guys out here on the racetrack on Saturday, is it better, or is it make it tougher for you guys? And now, a lot of times, I know a lot of people like riding with behind the ATVs because the course is cut in. There's There's a lot of reasons why, and then there's people for the very same reason don't like it. But in muddy conditions, is it something that is favorable for the two-wheel side of things, or does it kind of make it a little tougher for you?
You know what? That's kind of a hard question. I mean, there's races that it's better, like Powline Park a couple of years ago. It poured, and they took all the mud off, and you just had a hard base with water. And I'm kind of hoping that this is kind of what the quads are going to do, is just leave that hard base, take the mud off, and I'm sure it's going to be ruts, but just fill up with water, and it kind of off we go, you know. Sometimes the quads, the dirt is so bottomless that the quads riding just makes it so deep, and it actually makes the track worse. But sometimes I wish the quads were the day after us, and sometimes I'm definitely stoked that they are before us, you know. But this one, I don't know. I've never raced here in the mud. Every year I've been here, it's been almost perfect conditions, so I'm not sure.
Awesome. Speaking of Nick, there's Nick. Walker Fowler is checked in at the finish line. We'll get you a legitimate overall time here and separation between Walker Fowler coming up here in just a few moments. According to my timing and scoring, I've got only Walker Fowler in. And there's Bryce and Neal checking in now. So 1 minute and 52 seconds, almost 2 minutes gap between first and second on this first lap of racing. You hardly ever see anything like that. There is Mr. GNCC himself, Chris Borch, on that Suzuki out of Sunbury, Pennsylvania. He's checked in that number 3 position now. Coltrane Richardson is in. He's in 4th. He is running now 2 seconds behind Chris Borch. Jared McClure in, another 2 seconds back behind Richardson. Hunter Hart, only 3 seconds behind Jared McClure. Marty Christopherson, another 3 seconds behind Hunter Hart. I'll tell you right now, Hunter Hart might be in the best position that we've seen this rookie in all season long. This might be a good, even though it's muddy, might be a good opportunity for this kid to learn the, I think, the concept of sometimes you got to slow down to go faster. And I think he might grasp that concept riding with some of these guys a little bit today.
Yeah, definitely. I think going back to Walker having that almost 2-minute lead, it started getting the whole shot, you know, with how wet it is and just the spray that would have been coming off him in those first couple of straightaways with everybody being so close is a huge advantage to be out front. I think it's going to be the same tomorrow. That's my goal, is get the whole shot and then let it play out from there, you know. Everybody's so bunched up at the start. There's roost coming from every direction, and you can get your grips, your gloves, your goggles, your vision, everything all messed up within just not even a minute into the race. So I think it's pretty important to start out front, and I think that's what has definitely helped Walker be able to get such a big lead straight away, you know.
No doubt about it. Mikey Wayne's down in the pits right now with Mark Notman, Walker Fowler's mechanic. What's going on, Mikey?
Hey, thanks, Rodney. Everything is soaked out here. It's complete chaos. Mark Notman, first of all, how's Walker doing out there?
He's checked out. We just looked at time and scoring. It's a minute 52-second lead already, so conditions are pretty gnarly out there. The track really wasn't going away super bad in the morning. It was more just slick and a parking lot for that matter.
All right, so that's enough about Walker Fowler. All we hear about is Walker Fowler. Let's talk about Mark Notman, because, man, you ran the Sportsman A class this morning.
I did. I've been wanting to come back out for a couple years. The last time I did it was 2016, and last 2 years doing side-by-side just didn't work out. So, yeah, wrapped the championship up early, and I told Walker I was coming out to play.
So, man, how did you finish today? You ended up taking the class and then, what, 7th overall, I think?
Yeah, Sportsman A win and 7th overall. I think I was top sport quad. So to be out there battling with the 4x4 guys, and I don't know where I ended up, how far back, but it was a lot of fun.
Well, there you go. Walker Fowler out there doing his Walker Fowler thing, and Mark Notman did his Mark Notman thing this morning.
Did you say 7th overall?
7th overall.
Wow, Mark. Good to see you still got it, buddy. I know he does a lot of training and everything. You didn't see him get out there and stretch his legs like that. That's pretty cool. And look at this. Wow. This is the cornfield section right after the start.
Yeah, it's I just went out and watched a little bit on the motocross track, and oh gosh, it is gnarly out there. But like we were saying, I mean, mud's the great equalizer, but Mackenzie made a good point there. Walker had got the whole shot. He's the only one on the track that was not getting roosted. He's the only one that didn't have mud thrown all over his gloves and his goggles and the top of his helmet and everything else. And you can see that was clearly a tremendous help for him. But other than that, other than him jumping way out, there's some really good battling out back. And one really good one to watch, I believe Bryson Neal and Chris Borch are tied for second in points right now.
Yeah.
Bryson's in second, Chris is in third on the track right now. So whoever wins that battle is going to bring home the #2 for this year. And then behind those two, we have a lot of, we got Hunter Hart back there, Jared McClure's there, Marty Christopherson, and Johnny Gallagher is in the mix with those guys. So the only one I did not see, I saw Jordan Poplowski come through in the lead in the Xc2 class.
Yeah.
And I did not see John Glauda Jr. come through. I don't know if you see him on the results or not. He's running Xc1.
Yeah, he has not checked in yet. And Jordan Poplowski does check in out of Shamokin, Pennsylvania. 3rd place overall right now.
Oh, yeah, it says... Oh, that's the Xc2 results. Okay, I thought that was overall. Yeah, so Jordan Poplowski, Tanner Walker in second, and Wilson, what's his first name? Seth Wilson. Yeah, that's that would be other than Poplowski. That is a lot of new people out there on in the top 3 of the Xc2 class.
That is some names that we are not necessarily generally used to seeing up front in the Xc2 class. But hey, check this out: 14th place overall, Junior A 22+ class rider. Started on row number 3. Josh Haney right now out of Upper Black Eddy, Pennsylvania, is 14th place overall. He turned a 41 minute and 29 seconds 22nd lap time. He's only 4 seconds behind Tanner Walker, who's running second place in the Xc2 Pro-Am class on time adjustments right now.
That's a good first lap for him. I just got a text message that said John Glotta Jr.'s bike is struggling right now, so I'm not sure.
I can't imagine why anybody would be struggling.
Maybe he took on some water or something like that, which I can understand why that might happen. Which, bummer for him. I know he won the Xc2 championship this year. Had a little bit of a struggle at the last race. His first race in Xc1, made a couple rookie mistakes, and now coming into this one and kind of,
you know what? Here's the way I look at it. I think this is a good move for him because he can get all the bugs worked out right now.
Absolutely, come out swinging next year.
Exactly. I mean, all the butterflies are gone. He's been out there. This will be, what, his third race, I think he's been out there. So that's going to be huge and monumental, I think, for him in order to make that happen. Mackenzie Tricker, two-wheel racer, WXC rider, still here with us. So, Mackenzie, real quick, for those folks that are out there and they do want to purchase one of those tickets to help you in your ISDE efforts, maybe win that cool motorcycle that you guys are giving away, how can they go about getting tickets?
If you don't want to go out in the rain right now, or you're watching from home, you can message me on Facebook or Instagram, and I can send you a photo of the ticket, and you can PayPal. Or if you're here, same thing. You can reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram. Or our pit is on the motocross. We're backed up to the motocross track down by behind the Honda rig and the finish line.
Yeah, there's a couple of Honda rigs, transporters, FMF, and all that, and you're about 4 or 5 down from there.
Yep.
The bike's sitting out there on display. Stop down, check it out, and you're welcome to stick around, Hunt, and watch some racing if you want.
I'm probably going to go back inside and stay out of the rain.
Oh, imagine that. Get yourself warm for tomorrow. Hey, thank you. Hey, good luck. If I don't get a chance to talk to you, Hunt, good luck in Portugal, okay?
Hopefully I get to, I don't know, will you be on the podium tomorrow? Hopefully I get to talk to you there.
Maybe. You never know. I might try. If you make it on the podium tomorrow, I'm going to try to swing down.
All right, I'll see you there then.
Okay, sounds good.
See you soon.
So, so there you go. Mackenzie Tricker is certainly got herself in a great position as far as 2019 is concerned. She broke some bones, had some issues and some struggles as far as the championship season is concerned, but she's still a major player of the WXC, and she is a major force heading in to the international 6-day event coming up. Well, as we take a look at this one, 47 minutes, approaching 48 minutes into this race, we are at just past the halfway point of this race now, and if we take a look and stay consistent, this race, if we have 37, 38 minute, well, basically 38-minute laps, let's call it 40 minutes, 40 times 3, we're going to be a little over. We're still going to be close to the 2-hour mark before, but if we hadn't done that, imagine where we'd be.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we called for an hour-and-a-half race, and like you say, it's a good thing we did, because otherwise they would probably have to run 4 laps, which would put you way over 2 hours. So they called for an hour-and-a-half race. It's going to be a 3-lap race, and it's really not going to be much shorter than most races that we have. But there's a good shot. It's still coming down out there.
That's a shot of the bean field. Soybeans planted out there. We've got soybeans and cornfields, and even, I think, maybe even a couple hay fields out there. Yep. But it's certainly heartland of America. There is no doubt about that. And here we go. And there you go. You know, we talk about how soft these fields are, but look at that. I mean, it is nasty and gnarly, but it's not like they're sinking up to the skid plates, and they are able to still continue to keep moving forward.
Yep. On the screen there, we have the top 10 overall. Like I say, we got Fowler way out there, Poplawski in the number 3 spot. This guy's having even trouble getting to the next corner. After we got Neal, Borch, Richardson, McClure, Hunter Hart, Marty Christopherson, Josh Merritt, and Johnny Gallagher, all like toe-to-toe.
Are those guys in a battle for the championship points from like 5th or 6th place to 10th place or something like that?
Yeah, it's a lot of really close races. And like I said, we got Neal, Borch, McClure, and Richardson kind of close up front. Which Neal and Borch are the 2 that are really the deciding factor. And then as you go back, I know Josh Merritt and Johnny Gallagher are close in points. Yeah. And, like you say, there's just a lot of other little battles.
In that too. Yeah, Hunter's in that.
Yes.
So, and you know, unfortunately for Marty Christopherson, that's a rider that hasn't graced the presence of the overall top 10, but he's just outside the top 10 in points. And his battle right now is also with Johnny Gallagher. He says if he can beat Johnny, there is a pretty good chance that he might be able to secure an overall top 10 position. And knowing Marty, I think he had an 8 one year, had 7 the next year, and then outside the top 10 this year. It's been a tough pill for him to swallow, but he's biting it and chewing on it pretty good right now.
He had a little bit of a slow start. I don't know if you remember this past winter is when he was going through building his house. So he didn't really get to do much this winter, and it showed those first couple of races. Had a little bit of a slow start to the season, but Marty's definitely Mr. Consistency, and he's been putting race after race together, and it'd be nice to see him come back strong, finish the year strong, and come out swinging next year.
You know, one of the riders that impresses me a lot is Josh Merritt. I don't know, something about Josh. I've watched him grow up, and I watched him reach. I watched him reach the professional level, and you know, not knowing whether or not, okay, is he ready to be there yet? Should he have made that move when he did? Maybe, maybe not. But the thing about it is, he is really growing into that XC1 Pro class, and he's really starting to be a big, tough factor in the top 10 in the races each and every time. So it's made for, I think, a lot of excitement from his standpoint and watching him progress. Bryson Neal just making his way through, I think, still in that number, in that number 2 spot. Bort should have been, or should be not far behind.
Yep, that was Cole Richardson. There's Jared McClure. There's Chris Borch dropping back a few spots.
Yeah, to 5th place now.
This is Hunter Hart rolling through.
6th place there for Hunter Hart now.
This looks like there's Joe Borch running through the woods, going to the next spot.
Wow. So, Borch drops from 3rd to 5th in class there. That means McClure actually moved up a couple of positions there. He did pretty good. Cole's looking pretty good. Hunter, wow, good to see Hunter still in this.
They're just trying to keep this thing from rolling, and they didn't quite keep it. So this is why they couldn't put Ironman Hill in. This is just Twin Hills, and it's small. Considerably small. I mean, it's still a big hill, but compared to Ironman Hill, it's no match. And as you can see, I mean, the rain is picking up again, and just with the rain that we have, these hills are just absolutely brutal.
All right, here we go. All right, we got one going up the far right-hand side. This is the line that you said that a lot of riders may choose, and it should be the easy line. You see, it didn't do
out around the outside.
Didn't work out too bad for that rider, that's for sure. Mikey Waynes, though, back down in the pits right now. Mikey, you got the thumb on the pulse of what's taking place, man. What's that heartbeat like today?
Well, the pits, honestly, there's not a lot of people down here, and that's, I'm assuming, because they're out there either, 1, helping their rider get through the course, or 2, changing goggles like crazy. But one of the big things to notice down here is fuel. A lot of people, as a matter of fact, Cole Richardson's pit said, we used as much fuel for what Cole normally goes through in 2 laps in just 1 lap. So this mud that they're having to course through, this Ironman track that they're having to course through, is really taking its toll on them. So you got to think it's playing on them physically. They've got the goggles. Now you've got the fuel element. Even though it's a shortened race, which, as you guys touched on, when it's all said and done, it may not really end up that short. But just some added elements for you guys in addition to the conditions.
No, that's so true. I noticed that this morning with the fuel. All this mud, they're on the throttle a lot. They got these big hill climbs. Really got to stay on the pipe a lot. And 1 lap, which I know the laps are a little long. How long was a lap? 35 minutes?
39 minutes.
39 minutes.
37, almost 38 minutes for Walker Fowler. Everyone else 39 to 40 minutes. Yes.
Yeah, so just trying to get through all this mud and get up all these big hills, using a lot of fuel, and I don't know, maybe even pitting so early, and this race still planning on going near 2 hours. We might be in for another pit stop eventually.
Hey, you know what? It wouldn't surprise me a bit, and I would say that if nothing else, riders will be stopping for new gloves and fresh goggles.
And if they got to get goggles, you might as well grab a little fuel while you're at it.
Exactly. I tell you, we don't know how this race is going to pan out, but we do know that Walker Fowler's out front, Bryson Neal's in 2nd, and Jordan Poplaski on time adjustment rounds out the top 3. How are things going to pan out? Will Poplaski stay there? Will Chris Borch be able to regain that 3rd place podium position in the XC1 Pro class? Stick around. GNCC Live continues after this.
Your bearings shoulder the burden whenever you tow, haul, or stomp the gas. AMSOIL delivers powerful protection for bearings and other critical components so you can drive with confidence. To demonstrate, an independent lab put AMSOIL synthetic motor oil head-to-head against a leading competitor in a 100,000-mile test. AMSOIL provided far superior wear protection and kept engine bearings looking like new. Get your truck the protection it deserves at amsoil.com/auto.
We are American motorcyclists. We are members of the American Motorcyclist Association. Racers, fans, and crew. We come together for this sport we love, to race together, to grow together. We start young and not so young. We race motorcycles and ATVs. We become friends, we become family. We compete for weekend bragging rights and national championships. We make memories on the toughest off-road courses in the country and on the best motocross tracks in the world. Some of us aspire to the speed and poise of road racing or the fierce competitiveness of American flat track. And we honor our greatest champions in the AMA Motorcycle Hall of Fame. Through it all, we cheer. We win and we lose. We are racing. We are the AMA. Race with us. Be part of the greatest sport in the world. Be an American motorcyclist. Join us today at www.amajoin.com/join-now.
I'm a junior pro surfer from Maui, Hawaii. I actually tried to homeschool in 8th grade and just didn't meet my needs. I came to On Track in 9th grade, and from the beginning I really liked it.
The mission at On Track School is to make academic success completely possible for each and every student while they're out pursuing their personal goals.
Everything is just super easy with On Track. I get to take my computer on the road whenever I need to. It makes it very easy for me to get all my work done.
If you're looking for a program that provides flexibility and a program that you can take anywhere that fits your lifestyle, then On Track is for you. So come check us out at ontrackschool.com and go get it.
Even when you're the best, you never stop striving to be better. The all-new from the ground up 2019 Yamaha YZ250F is available at LoJack Cycle Sales, alongside the all-new YZ65 and YZ85, and refined YZ450F. So stop by LoJack Cycle Sales today in Tarentum, Pennsylvania, and visit our online inventory at www.lojacks.com. Yamaha YZs. It's why we ride.
Well, we got up that morning and we got a phone call from my other son, and he had spent the night at Ethan's house, and he called me and said, "Have you guys seen Ethan?" "No, I haven't." "And where did he not come home last night?" And they said, "No, he didn't." And that's unusual. He always came home. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. He went off the road off of Route 33 down into the trees, and his truck disappeared in the brush. And no one found his truck until approximately 8 or 8:30 the next morning. It's almost an exact replica of Ethan on his bike. A 450 rod holding the bike up, which is fitting, absolutely perfect. A gentleman that I ran into on Facebook, I seen some of his work, I seen some of the progress he was making on other things, and I had to do something. I felt like I had to have something. And I messaged him. He took on the job, and approximately 3 months later, I'm almost dead replica. I mean, right on the money to everything, down to the motor, the rear shock linkage, the shocks, the piggyback shocks, the graphics on the machine, everything. And it was just so much for us my wife and I were just struck. I mean, we were just, we didn't know, we couldn't believe it. You know, Ethan was about 230 pounds. He was about 6'6". So you could look at the size of the rider on the bike. He looks almost a little bit too big for the bike, and that was him. That was absolutely him. Absolutely, it really does. GNCC itself went above and beyond at the funeral, and with Carrie Joe coming to the funeral home and the balloon release at Mountaineer Run.
Of our GNCC Racing Nation, but certainly our hearts out with the family, but a great and fitting tribute and memorial with that trophy that they've got going on there for Ethan, no doubt. Certainly on our hearts and on our minds as we continue into the future. And right now, as we continue here at Ironman, the rain continues to fall down, and it's starting to fall a little bit harder, and I think it's making things a little bit more difficult for some folks, even Adam McGill, because he's standing by with Mikey Waynes down in the pits now.
Thank you, Rodney. Yes, I am down here with the Gator in the pits. So? You're in dry clothing, kind of. You're not out there on an ATV, man. What's going on?
You know, it is what it is. Nah, we had a good start. The over tires were doing great. You know, the motor pulled good. It fired fast, and we took off and got into the woods. Got into the woods third, made a pass on Chris, and we're working on Walker. Was trying to get him set up going on the moto track. As soon as I got on the moto track, that thing ingested a bunch of water like a fat kid at a cake convention, and it just... Was that a good one?
That was good.
That was good.
And it was PG, thank you.
You're welcome. But it, you know, it is what it is. It's part of racing, and me and Dad are looking at each other. He's rubbing his mustache, and that thing is growing out, clear down. Hell, it's clear to, it's almost a goatee now. Right, Stash? So we're trying to come up with a better plan. I mean, what we did at Snowshoe worked, and that's what we brought into here. And what gets me is, like, it's so different. Everywhere you go, the conditions are different, the scenarios are different, and I don't know really how to fix it. So we're going to go to the drawing board. It didn't really matter where I finished today, but, you know, I got out there in about 3 mile marker, and when that thing started spitting and sputtering, and it was barely pulling itself up them hills, and I knew that I should pull it in because it was just going to leave me stranded, and I'll be danged if I'm going to be out here stranded with nobody to hang out with.
Tells me you'd have plenty of people to hang out with out there. Well, Adam, tough luck, man. What's the expectations? What's the Gator doing going into 2020?
Came to mind, I can't say, but you know, definitely going into 2020. Like I said, you know, I'll definitely be back with Moose Racing. I'll be back with Moose Racing and Parts Unlimited for 2020. You know, Leat, Custom Act Shocks, LSR with their DC Pro components. I mean, you know, all the companies are still there, and it's just, you know, it's racing. This is part of racing, and if it was easy, we'd just call it winning. So that's why we're here. That's why we do this. You know, we're learning every race. Me and Dad, even though we're seasoned vets, but you know, as the years goes by, the tracks get faster. They get this. The bikes get better, but it's just how the cookie crumbles.
Oh, my friend Adam McGill, enjoy the rest of your winter break. I'm sure I'll be seeing you soon, you crazy man.
All right, good luck, guys. Ouch. You know, notice, you know, Adam was talking about. Hello. You hear me? Okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, Adam was talking about his dad's almost platinum mustache. Did you see the gray starting to show up in Adam's beard?
I think I did see a little bit of that gray, and I did see a little bit of gray in his beard there, and I don't know. I mean, like father, like son, I suppose, and you know, he's harping on the mustache a little bit, but I don't know. I wish I could grow a mustache like his father.
You probably could. You just got to let go for a while.
I don't know that I could.
And you will be able to grow a mustache like him when you get a little age on you and the gray starts to come in. You look at me, man. I'm white mug now.
I got to get more wise like him. I think that helps the mustache.
Is that what this is all about? Am I wise? Is that why I'm so white?
Thinking, yeah. Yeah. Rodney, it is. We were just talking there while Adam was running his chops a little bit. It is raining right now. I mean, wow. Earlier during the race, it wasn't. You know, it was sprinkling sprinkling the entire time, but it is putting it down now. And you can see, I mean, these people can't even hardly get through these
oh,
field
man.
sections.
Using the bale of hay there on the inside, extreme inside for
traction. The only traction out there.
Yeah. Hey, let's run through some of these classes real quick. Actually, I'll tell you what, we probably got a couple minutes. Our leaders are not due in for another 10 minutes or so. But, you know, we got some things. We talk about championships and things like that are on the line. And I know that, you know, there are some riders that have wrapped up championships, some riders that haven't wrapped up championships and are working on it here today. And that's what today is all about. And what's really neat is we got that kind of split scenario going on with the new Honda ATV team with Phoenix Racing Honda over there, and our two Red Riders in Noah Mickelson, who has clinched the title in the College A class, and his teammate Grayson Eller, who is racing right now with Dalton Keys to try to win the College B class. We had a chance to stop over and talk with both Noah and Grayson leading into the weekend and what it's been like for them here in 2019.
I started ATV motocross when I was about 6 years old. Didn't run nationals until I was on a 70 mod. Worked my way up through the ranks, got 5 national championships, and I had buddies that started to dabble in the GNCC, and they were making GNCC parts, so my dad got a good deal on them, so managed to build me a GNCC bike, and, you know, just kind of curious as to what it was like, and I started to really like it, so me and my teammate Grayson got into the GNCC, and, you know, we're just kicking it off now, and hopefully get a couple of national championships this year.
I'm Grayson Eller. I race Pro-Am and Pro Sport for ATV motocross, and I race College B for the GNCC series. I started racing motocross when I was about 6 or 7 years old. Didn't go to nationals until I was on a 90 CVT. Raced Super Mini and 90 mod for a couple years, and then raced 250s for a while because I was such a big kid, so I couldn't really race the minis for so long. Stayed on those for a while, and then started moving into the 450 and started off with 450B in college.
Well, like we said, Dalton Keys and Grayson Eller going at it right now for that College B championship, and Noah Mickelson already wrapping up his championship as we continue to wait and watch here near the finish line right now. We see that our leaders not due in for another 8 minutes or so, Landon, and as we watch the rains fall, it has lightened back up just a little bit to a mild, well, an extreme sprinkle, I guess we could call it, but it's not the driving rain we were seeing 5 minutes ago by no stretch of the imagination.
No, it's still putting her down out there, and who knows when these guys are going to come in. I know we're not expecting them for another 8 minutes or so, but the conditions out there have to be wild. So who knows when we might get to see them come through again, and it'll be interesting to see what the running order is this lap.
You know, it is an interesting, and you know, speaking of which, you know, here as it all culminates here in this final round, down to the interesting factors of this, wondering what's going to happen. I tell you, when we started out the season, there was a lot of wonder as well, and there was a lot of excitement as we take a look at our top 5 moments. We lost our monitor out here, by the way. So take a look at our top 5 moments our top 5 moments in 2019. One of the first ones I have to think, Devin Feehan actually making some big progress and some big strides, actually making his first podium here in the early part of 2019. A pretty big and spectacular thing, I think, for his program and just in general.
Yeah, I think it's been a long time coming for him. He's worked really, really hard on that for a long, long time.
Top moment number 4 now as we take a look. You know, we talked about Walker Fowler. You know, comes in, wins the first couple of rounds. Devin gets on the podium, some excitement. But then we get a new winner. And I believe this was, Cole Richardson's second win of his career. First win of 2019. He's got 2 wins career-wise, but he's actually got 3 wins now career-wise. And then at X Factor, wow, what another one of those, huh? Bryson Neal, B. Neal from the Bidwell Bullet, if you like to call it, man, he sliced through the mud that day, man. I mean, he had his work cut out for him. X Factor, always a challenge, I think.
Yeah, it seems like Indiana just likes to give us a little bit of mud, but as you heard Bryson say earlier, he ain't afraid of the mud, and he came out on top there, and today's not over either.
And as we continue along in our top moments of 2019, Camp Coker and Chris Borich.
Great
wow.
Racing. Great racing. Him and Walker were back and forth all day long, and I know they came into the finish line hot. Chris actually, I believe he was running out of fuel like in the final moments of the race. The bike shut off on him, started back up just in time for him to get the thing going again and cross the finish line just in front of Walker. And I think that was is that his first and only win of the year, I believe?
I believe so, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So that was epic.
And then, of course, the big thing, the Strive for 5 that Walker Fowler was looking for. You know, winning 5 championships sets a record, a personal record. There's no doubt about it. We know ATV side of things, 9 championships with Bill Ballance, 7 championships with Barry Hawk. But in this day and age, achieving 5 championships is, I mean, not saying what the Barry and those guys did wasn't monumental, but man, take into consideration the talent field.
Yeah, a lot of fast guys. Sounds like we may be live in the pits right now. Walker Fowler coming through for his second time through the pits, probably grabbing another set of goggles. Yeah, one more lap. Well, about a lap and a half from the pits.
And you know, and there it is. I mean, this goes to show, I mean, the hard work, the dedication, you know, the good days, the bad days, whatever the case. I mean, putting your head down and coming out and being able to perform. I mean, I think I've seen Walker perform in every condition possible out there. The dust, perfect condition. He is a true champion. There is no doubt about that. And I think, you know, that the lead that we saw at the end of lap number 1 might be a big explanation point to that very statement right now. And I am not taking anything away from any of the other riders. And you got to take into consideration right now, we are looking at very inclement conditions, and I wouldn't want to say treacherous, but certainly very challenging as Walker I mean, talk about taking your time. Did they just put in new tear-offs and everything on the goggles?
Yep. They want to make sure he has everything he needs to get going. But you know, like you say, back to Walker, I mean, there's a reason he's a 5-time champion now. He wins not every race, but he's dominant in almost any condition. Rocks, sand, dust, hard pack, extreme mud. I mean, he's always there fighting for a win, and it just no matter what. I mean, that is in my book the definition of.
Yeah, that's the nature of that kid. As more riders in and out of the pits, is that Hart? Yeah,
Hart. And another thing. Another thing to notice is Walker definitely does not have the lead that he once had. No. But it looks like Hunter, because that's Jared McClure, Chris Sports right behind him. Hunter Hart's got to be in podium position.
Wow. And you know, here I want to say something, and I'm going to go, and this is pretty cool. I was talking with Hunter as make our way out of the pits now. That was Chris, I believe, but. Yep. Hunter said this is the 10th anniversary of his first ever class win in a youth racing. I think he said he finished 2nd overall. If I'm not mistaken, I think he said Josh Merritt, but it might not have been Josh. It was somebody.
I think he was racing Josh back in the day, so that would probably make sense. Yep.
Yeah. So he got 2nd place overall. Won his first ever class win here at Ironman 10 years ago, and to be able, even if he doesn't take a win, but comes away with a podium.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a great anniversary gift?
That would be great. And we didn't, you know, we were having some problems with our monitor here. I'm going to assume that Bryson Neal is still in the number 2 spot, but as far as I could tell, Hunter Hart could be in that number 3 spot. I'm a little anxious to see him come through the motocross track over here and get a look and see exactly where he stacks up. There is Chris Borch trying to fight his way through this this gnarly field section.
Wow. Talk about struggles, even for somebody like Chris Borch. It's certainly a lot of hard work, man. My M&Ms got wet. I just poured out about a cup and a half of water out of my pocket. My M&Ms were floating around in there, by the way. Yeah, it's to say the least. It is raining here at Ironman, but hey, this isn't the first time we've been here. You know, I've been here in dust. I've seen it 80 degrees here. I've seen it snowing here. I love this event. I'm not going to say I love these conditions by no stretch of the imagination, but But I'll back up and reiterate what I said earlier. Though we may not look forward to these events, though we may not say, hey, I wanted to, and there are a few that do, but though in general we say we don't want these these are the most memorable days of our racing career. I mean, in reality, how many perfect races do you remember? Not many, right?
No, you really don't. And that's the thing. I mean, we had a really gnarly race at John Penton this year, and it was the same deal. There's just so many memories and stories that come from that one race, and like you say, they really do. They make for good stories. They make for good memories, and this is the race that everybody will remember that they couldn't see the whole way home because they had mud in their eyes. So. Yeah, it'll definitely make for some good stories. And these guys, about just over a lap to go. They should be working their way onto the motocross track any second now, and then shortly after that, rolling through the finish line, and we can get an update on time differences, who's running the fastest laps. But by the looks of it, it's definitely going to be Walker Fowler is not going to have that 1 minute and 52-second lead that he once had.
And think about it. It didn't seem like he had that, but how long was he in the pits before he actually pulled out? So he may have been well over the 2-minute mark.
He could have been. And
I know he was 30, 40 seconds, maybe 45 seconds in the pits that he was in there. So yeah, I think some of that, but it'll certainly come back on. Your microphone quit, Mikey? Yeah. Uh-oh. Did you get it wet? Let me see it. Uh-oh.
You done did it now, Mikey.
It's waterlogged.
Quit too?
Yeah, that right there quit.
We are having...
try it again. Try it now. See. There's
Walker Fowler rolling through the finish line right now. Walker Fowler, we just got report that it sounds like he might have been pulled over just before the finish line, talking to somebody, maybe reporting something. And I can hear the rest of the Xc1 class rolling through the motocross track right here behind the booth.
Check.
Oh, look. Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah, he just kind of stopped.
Right there was a replay of what we were seeing from Walker. I'm not sure exactly what he was doing there. I don't know if he was trying to talk to somebody. I didn't see anybody there.
Maybe,
He came out of the pit. He was probably only 30 seconds back.
Right there, Neil. And
there, yeah. So that
that's
gap.
Hunter Hart right there. That is Hunter, not Chris, right?
All right, so we got Bryson Neal in second. Hunter Hart is only 5 seconds behind Bryson Neal right now. So 34 seconds behind Walker Fowler's Bryson Neal now. Hunter Hart, another 5 seconds back. Wow, how about it for the rookie?
There's Chris Borch rolling through the finish line right now. I mean, considering the conditions, we have some pretty close racing out there, and Hunter Hart in position to grab his first XC1 podium.
But look who's behind him.
I know, and Chris is riding his guts out right now because he has to get in front of Bryson to secure the number 2 spot, and he 100% knows that.
Yeah, so he's pushing it to try to make that happen.
Long walking by. These are probably his conditions out here. He's an XC1 dirt bike racer, and we know he's good in the tough stuff, and he's probably loving it every minute of this rain falling down.
He did have a pretty big smile on his face, didn't he? Yeah. So Boric is in the 5th place position. Here's our top 5 right now. 34 seconds between first and second, Walker Fowler and Bryson Neal. I have to think, though, that probably 45 seconds of that lead was chipped away at while Walker just basically sat, made the changes, and did what he needed to do in the pits. Plus, he made that stop just prior to the finish. Hunter Hart, another 5 seconds back. 3 seconds behind him is the Sneaky Snake, a.k.a. the Cobra, Jared McClure, and Chris Borch. Another 14 seconds back to round out the top 5. Another big question that's on my mind, Cole Richardson in the 6th now, is will Jordan Poplaski be able to maintain that top overall position? We were looking at him in 3rd place overall, and I almost have to tend to think there's a couple of scenarios that I'm going to point out here. Number one, we see this happen often on the first lap of racing, and so that's usually not too big of a surprise. Secondly, with the conditions the way that they are, I have to think that Jordan being a little further back, he's going to get caught up, even if it's with some of the XC1 traffic or whatever the case may be. Something's going to hold him back. I think that's going to take him out of that top 3 and maybe even top 5 overall. But how many times have I been wrong in my career? And if I am, I'm not going to be a bit disappointed because I'd like to see what Jordan's able to pull off here. And the better he does, the more excited I'm going to be for sure.
Yeah, so we do have a 1 minute gap from the 5th place ride of Chris Borch back to the 6th place ride of Cole Richardson, and going to right now we have Jordan Poplaski in 7th. Now we've done went, you know, he has a 1 minute handicap to these guys, and he would have had to come through a while ago to be back in that top 5. Oh, there is, I think that's Jordan right there. Is it?
Can't quite tell.
It is really hard to.
That might be, yeah, that very well might be Jordan.
Yellow rags, it's got to be Borch's pit, maybe. I know.
Oh man!
I know yep, that is Jordan.
Wow.
So Jordan is still in pro pits, clearly struggling with his eyes.
Yep.
And,
this
look, they're trying to spray him out. I know that is painful right there. So needs to get those eyes as clean as he can in a short amount of time and get some goggles.
Well, you know, at this point, you know, it's a hurry up, you rush, but this might be the one time that you want to take a few extra seconds, like we've seen Walker Fowler doing those 2 laps that he's come through so far.
Get it to where you're fresh again, and you can run a couple miles at a good solid pace where you can see well.
And get it all at that. You don't want to leave a little something there. If you've got this opportunity to get rid of it, get rid of it. Looks like they're actually washing the eyes out, so we may be a little further into this than what we are expecting. I mean, he might already have some problems, some visual problems starting to take place if they're already washing the eyes out like that. Hopefully it's not. Well, he's saying put the goggles back on. He's ready to go. So
we're rolling. I mean, and we still don't have any other. I mean, we have a big gap. We had a minute from 5th to 6th. And we do not have a 7th place rider through yet. So,
and that would be Poplaski if he comes in next. That would be him.
Tanner Walker was 2nd in Xc2, and he was 13th overall. So even with this huge delay that Jordan has had, he still has not been passed yet. So
what does that say about our top 5, our top 6 riders out here right now? Yeah, I mean,
you can hear again the rain is picking up, and it's just driving to the ground again.
Still, only the top 6 riders have checked in with 2 laps complete here on the lead lap. An hour and 21 minutes into this race. According to timing and scoring, we should expect to see Walker Fowler in about 32 minutes. That would put us at an hour and 53 minutes.
This is just a regular race.
So it's basically
and that's the leader. Imagine the guy that's running 40th.
Oh, mercy. He's going
to be out there in that stuff for a long, long time, which, you know, there's just no way to get around that really in this type of racing and these conditions.
Maybe he'll make it out in time for the Craig Morgan concert. By the way, that's coming up tonight. I want to remind folks, if you're in the area, come on over. You're not going to find a better ticket for $20. You get a concert. You get to come and stay for racing tomorrow if you want to do something like that. And don't forget, also, we've got the bag drop auction that's going to be taking place tonight, 9 o'clock, just prior to the actual Craig Morgan show. So make sure you're over there, and all proceeds will benefit the Montgomery County Free Clinic here in Montgomery County, a.k.a. the Crawfordsville area. So please help us out in that department. Okay, let's take a look at our class-by-class breakdown. As we pointed out, it's been a while since a 7th person has checked in, but it looks like they're finally starting to check in. And as our computer updates here, we know that Walker Fowler is in, Bryson Neal is in, Hunter Hart is in, Jared McClure is in 4th, Chris Borich in 5th, Cole Richardson is in 6th. Now we see Josh Merritt is checked in on the number 7 spot. Devin Feehan is in the number 8 spot. Johnny G. Gallagher checking in the number 9 spot. And rounding out the top 10 will be Jordan Poplaski. But he is still not checked in with this 2nd lap complete. So physically on the racetrack, we would expect to see the number 7 of Marty Christopherson checking in next. We'll see whether or not that's the case. Remember, actually Marty was a few positions ahead of Johnny Gallagher a few moments ago at the end of lap number 1. He in a battle with Johnny for a top 10 position as far as the point standings are concerned, and Johnny also not only battle with him but also trying to work his way up in the point standings right now, currently running in 9th. He's got a little bit more work cut out for him to make the grade there, but Johnny looking, and these riders all looking for those top 10 numbers. I know Johnny coming up a little bit short with the number 12 last year. He wants to rebound and come back with a top 10 number here in 2019. And one other thing I want to point out about Johnny, he had a bad race last time, the worst race that I think I've known him to have in quite some time. The first time that Johnny Gallagher since the 1990s has not finished in the overall top 20 20 of a race that he actually completed. If there might be a race or two throughout history that maybe he had a breakdown, mechanical issue of some sorts and wasn't able to finish, but the fact is that this is only the second time in his career that he finished outside the top 20 since he was an A rider back in the 1990s. So, wow, Johnny Gallagher, that's pretty impressive stats. He said one other time he finished outside the top 20. The time that he did it, he was in the A class. He was a lap down and came back all the way to 21st place, just missing the top 20 overall by just a little bit. So, Johnny Gallagher, my hat's off to you in a phenomenal ride this season and a heartbreaker last season with just coming short of that top 20 overall, which is something that's always, and I don't think there's anybody in this world, I don't care if you got a 5-year career, 10-year career, 15-year, 3-year career, whatever, I don't think anybody percentage-wise is going to have those kind of numbers that Johnny Gallagher has stacked up, finishing top 20 overall in every race but 2 that he has raced since in the A class in the 1990s.
Yeah, that's impressive. That's Johnny Gallagher. He's a lot of people's idol. I know he's definitely mine, and it's cool to see him just still out there, still giving it to a lot of these young guys, and just
42 years old now, I think he is.
Yeah,
I think he's 42. This is his 25th season. Here's Johnny and I share an anniversary together. This is the 25th year that I have been professionally announcing professionally. I started 25 years ago and hit the road. Yep. He started 25 years ago in the Xc1 class. So we've got our silver anniversary together here this year.
Yeah, it's a good thing to share, that's for sure. Yeah. And I think he still likes it as much as he did the first year. I mean, even in conditions like this, honestly, I think he enjoys it more now than he used to.
I think so too. And there's no slowing down. There's no give in that fight. That's for sure. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I just got a text from Stu Baylor, who is out in the woods right now. McClure is all over Fowler, and he says Neil is having some issues. Cole has caught Neil. And he said he didn't see Hart, but he must have missed Hart. So it sounds like he's still in there. But McClure, I think it's been the past 3 races now. Every race in the fall, McClure is running second and is just slowly and slowly gaining on Fowler, but he is yet to catch him at one of these last 4 races.
You have to wonder if this was an 18 or 20 round series. Would Jared McClure be the man by the end of the year?
We got to get McClure started a little bit quicker, but no, I mean, white flag is out, obviously. So, man, this could be a real barn burner when it comes down to the finish. So.
Yeah, I mean, what looked like was just going to be a walk away. This could actually be nose to tail coming.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's what we were talking after the first lap. We're like, I mean, Walker. I could have said Walker would have won this with his eyes closed after the first lap, but not the case at all. And Borch and Neil having some issues, and that really might play in Borch's favor.
Yeah, that could be huge. That could be super huge for Chris and his bid for the number 2 plate here in 2019. Do want to point out, Poplatsky has checked in. Not only 10th place overall, but 10th place physically on the racetrack right now from that Xc2 Pro-Am class. We saw him with an extended pit stop. That tells you that those frontier guys, those top 10 guys, are really putting something out there that a lot of the rest of the field are having a tough time being able to achieve today.
The crazy thing is 4:16 is when Walker Fowler came through. It is now 4:29. And we only have 10 guys through the finish line for their second lap.
Wow.
So they clearly, I mean, with the rain continuing to come down, we're Oh no!
Walker is broke, according to our producer Adam Gordon. He's getting reports.
It sounds like bikes are dropping like flies out there.
That's kind of a surprise, because Walker was so far out front. He wasn't necessarily taking on any water, but at the same time, when you're out front like that, you're still victim to splashes and water's coming up as just as much as you're
driving in water holes like that. And maybe that's the reason that he lost some time. Maybe the bike's been starting to break up, but. This could be huge for a lot of people. I mean, Hunter Hart, if that's the case, he could be in the number 1 or number 2 spot. Is this that kind of looks like McClure, but I'm not sure there.
Man, some big backstories to that one. We're not going to report anything just yet, but you might want to be watching social media and race reports because we don't want to report anything just yet. But Mikey Waynes is going down to check and see what the scenario and situation is.
Sounds
but
like
Walker Fowler is out of this one.
On the track.
Yeah, we do know that Walker Fowler is out of this one. We'll get a report from Mikey Waynes coming up here shortly. Tough break there for Walker. Certainly hope that everything is going to be okay for that rider. That's for sure.
Yes. It looked like, I'll tell you, normally I'm pretty good at this, but it is hard to pick these guys out. It looked to me like we had McClure, Hart, and then Borch. There goes Richardson right there. Man, I'm struggling myself to pick these guys out. And now, this part of the track here, the AM class did not race this. So just the PM, and I don't know if you guys remember at the beginning of this show, this wood section looked good.
It did.
I don't know if you see that water hole in that corner right now, but it is pretty significant.
So now it's amazing what an hour and a half can do to a racetrack.
Well, that's what I said this morning. You know, this place was bone dry, and I said, how muddy could it get in such a, we raced 2 hours after it started raining. I said, how muddy could it get in 2 hours?
Well, you found out.
I never should have said that because it is.
It sounded like you challenged Mother Nature. That's what it sounds like.
So it is putting these guys to the test out there, and I think a lot of the test at this point is keeping the bike moving. I mean, as you can see, we've got quite a few riders out of the race now, and
well, here we go. We have now got 14 riders that have checked in. Our Xc2 riders are starting to check in. Jordan Poplansky is in 10th overall, a 2-minute 16-second lead over Tanner Walker now, who is 11th overall. Third in the class, Chester, West Virginia's Michael McAvoy, the 5:31, another 5 seconds back. Seth Wilson is 13th overall. That puts him 4th. 15th. Fifth is Kenny Schick. 6th in class, or actually that's it. That's the top 14. Only 14 riders have checked in with 2 laps complete. I'm going to break it down with 1 lap complete to show you what you had what you were looking forward to as far as this racing was concerned. After 2 for the pros in Xc2 Pro-Am class, Walker Fowler actually out of this one. Bryson Neal, not sure, but we think that Jared McClure has taken over the lead. From what we're hearing, Chris Borch, Hunter Hart right there in the mix of things as well. But we're seeing that Cole Richardson was in 6th. Josh Merritt was in 7th at the end of that second lap. Devin Feehan in 8th. 9th, Johnny Gallagher in 10th. Marty Christopherson, I'm telling you, going to have some big changes in this one when they come around for the finish line. We'll get some visuals on them hopefully here pretty soon and know a little bit more about what's going on. But here's the Xc2 Pro-Am. Jordan Poplansky, Tanner Walker in 2nd, Michael McAvoy, the 5:31 in 3rd. 4th place is Seth Wilson. 5th place, Kenny Schick. 6th place, Nick Royalty, the 265. 7th is the 6:15 of Austin Gorley. And 8th place is Charles Dunn. And from what I understand, that's the only ones that have checked in so far with at least 1 lap. There are 19 riders, maybe 29 riders. I think at least 19 riders in that Xc2 Pro-Am class. Only 8 have checked in. Hey, Mikey Waynes is in the pits. He's got an update that I know we all want to know about.
And I wish I had more for you. I think the biggest story is everybody from the Walker Fowler pit right now is not here. I kind of crossed paths with them. They were actually asking me, hey, do you know the details of what happened? I said, no, we do not know 100%, but we do know now that Walker Fowler's entire pit crew now out of the pits and heading over to where we believe he is broke down and maybe injured.
Well, hopefully that's not the case, but the reports that we are getting initially, Mikey, is that, and we're going to keep a tight seal on that till we know for sure what's going on. Don't want to start any rumors or anything like that, but we'll wait and we'll get an official word before we do that. Landon Wolf stepping out of booth back.
see him anymore on the track at all since I stepped out?
No.
So, man, it's like I say, it's not even necessarily who's the fastest rider at this point.
It's just who can finish.
Yeah, getting your bike across the finish line.
Hey, College A class looking like this. Chase Allison leading Cordy Vanderliner. The 805 is Vanderliner. Chase Allison on the 470. Cale Howard in third out of Kingman, Indiana. By the way, there's nearly 2 minutes between first and second, and only, again, about 2 seconds between second and third. Tyler Swindle, the 73 and fourth out of Canby, Indiana. Fifth place is Nate Harvey of Rosedale, Indiana. Then Dylan Walraven, the 622 and sixth. Seventh is the 400 of Noah Mickelson. He is your champion from what I understand. Eighth place, the 354 of Aaron Gorley. Ninth place, 56, Alan Daniels and Chase Fetro. The number 305 rounds out the top 10 in that College A class. In the next class we take a look at, it's Josh Haney leading the Junior A class, I believe. He was actually a top 10 rider in the early part of this race as well. Actually, top 15 rider from the Junior A 22-plus class. We'll see when he gets in for his second lap. He is 9 minutes behind scheduled being in here right now, so shows you these guys have slowed down. There's some more riders in the pits right now.
No pro rider.
No, I thought that was the red background for a moment. But we got Bruce Weiland in second in the Junior A class. He's out of Ranshaw, Pennsylvania on a 2:03. 2 minutes, 21 seconds back. 2 seconds behind him is Cage Chrisman, the 672. 317, Alex Elioff out of Valley City, Ohio in fourth. Jeremy Ladon, the 991 out of Glenshaw, Pennsylvania, running in fifth. And in sixth, Nick Davidson. Seventh is Justin Ice in the 541. Eighth, 62 of Tyler Palmer. Ninth, Blaze Taylor, the 57. And Grant Glashagel rounds out your top 10. That A30-plus class, we got some of these guys starting to check in. We see some College A. Chase Allison's checked in with his second lap. We'll run through those for you here in just a few moments. But our Vet A class starting to see some of those guys checking in. Former XC1 and XC2 pro riders are at the head of the field in this one and making these 2 laps. Big Papa P, Jeff Pickens, the 21 from Shamokin, Pennsylvania, only a 2.2 second lead over James Green. Jim Green, the 275 from St. Mary's, West Virginia, and Kevin Yoho, another minute, 52 seconds back. And there is the 17. That is Drew Landers from the Xc2 Pro-Am class. Has he completed a lap yet? I don't recall mentioning his name when we came down. No, he's just made it to the pits for the first time, has not even completed a lap yet, and Landers has been one of the front runners all season long on that Lands Mill XC back machine in that Xc2 Pro-Am class.
This track is claiming people left and right, as you can see. I mean, we all know Martin Ottman's one of the best mechanics out there, and it's hard to keep a bike together in this much water. As you can see, you got Walker Fowler out and Drew Landers out as well, who never even got one lap in. But there's really, watching this finish line area here, it doesn't, either there's a lot of people stuck or they've all pulled off,
or they're sucking up water. I mean, the water is that deep that we had people sucking up dust at the last race, and now we're having people, or 2 races ago, and now we're having them suck up mud and water today. Water probably more than mud, honestly. Looking at the Senior A class real quick, leaders were due in about 6 minutes ago. Tom Barrett was leading out of Morrisville, New York at the end of the first lap over Brian Shaw out of Harrisville, Pennsylvania. There was a minute and 21 seconds separating them. Mark Batson, the 636, was running in third out of LaSalle, Michigan. Fourth place, Michael Hayes out of Rocky Face, Georgia. 42 in fifth, in fourth, and then in fifth, the 410 of John Salsa out of Warwick, Rhode Island. One thing to point out in this one, Dale Batson, who got the whole shot, Mark Batson's brother, hasn't showed up for a lap complete in that Senior A 40-plus class either. Down to the College B class. Ooh, looks like Dalton Keys may be on point for this one, and we talked about the championship battle that was ensuing between he and the 171 of Grayson Eller, and obviously a few other riders out there as well, but Dalton Keys seems to be the rider with the things dialed in here today. He's got a 3-minute and 42-second lead over second place Sam Zambati, the 419 out of Proctor, West Virginia. Keegan Walker, the 929 out of Berlin, PA, is third. Fourth place, the 310 of Rainey Wilkinson out of Glasgow, Kentucky. Zach Knight, the 620 out of Harrisville, West Virginia, rounds out the top 5. Then in sixth place, the motocrosser and now XC cross-country racer, the 171 of Grayson Eller, in sixth place. Seventh place is now Looks like Aaron Greenwell, the 527. Looks like 8th place, 370, Samuel Eisen. 9th place is Tanner Green, the 607. Will Randolph rounding out the top 10. And look at this. What's going on here? What'd you say, Adam? This guy.
Big guy broke. Oh, is that Blankenship, Matthew?
Oh.
Is that Matthew Blankenship?
That's Matt Blanket. I believe it is, 127.
Broke a chain. What a bummer.
Yeah. He gives. Look at that. They know they're on TV, too. They must know we're talking about them also. But that's got to be heartbreaker there for Blankenship, but he seems to be taking it in stride, man. I mean, when you look at the big picture there. You know, we were talking about Vet A there just a moment ago. I don't think we got all the way through that. We got Pickens, Green, Yoho, Chris Conklin in 4th, Mike Lancaster in 5th, Aaron Hendershot in 6th, Dirk DeCesar in 7th, Justin Lewicki in 8th. 9th place is Brad Whitehead and Todd. The Marlboro Man, Moscala, the number 60 out of Uniontown, Pennsylvania, rounds out the top 10 there in the Vet A class. As we said, we went through the Senior A class there a moment ago. We've gone through the College B, down now to the Junior B, where Travis Mathias leads Jacob Allball, looking at only a 34-second lead. Those two have over 5 minutes lead over the 3:42 of Chris Leak out of Wintersville, Ohio. Your 3rd place, right? Jesse Elkins, the 4:14 out of Ashland, Tennessee, is running in 4th, and David Kite, the 3:21 from Northeast Maryland, rounds out the top 5. Then Aaron Page, 2:71 in 6th. Colton Kasuda is 7th. 8th, the 4:01 Tyler Willie, 9th, 7:40 of Brant Barna, and rounding out the top 10, Bryce Gray on the 2:41 machine. Dave Ashby on the number 508 from Amity, Pennsylvania, leading the Vet B 30-plus class over Cody Stewart out of Pleasant City, Ohio, the 813. Cody Holcomb out of Richwood, West Virginia, the 489 in 3rd. Number 81, Nick Miller from Bristolville, Ohio, running in 4th. Justin Elkins out of Springfield, Tennessee, is 5th, and Clint Thompson, the 707 out of Coal City, Indiana, rounds out the 6 that have made it with 1 lap complete in that Vet B class. And the Senior B class, Jason Limley, the 404 from Mount Morris, Pennsylvania, leading Dan Dakota, the number 391 out of Lansdale, Pennsylvania, former motocross racer himself, and actually has the national championship in the 40-plus class, if memory serves me correct. He's 2 minutes, 39 seconds behind Jason Limley right now. Nick Lambruno, the 582 out of Morgantown, West Virginia, in 3rd. Robert King, the 602 from Brownsburg, Indiana, in 4th. Nick White, also from Brownsburg, the 604 is 5th. And Robert Stevens out of Warren City, PA, the 801, rounds out the 6 that have completed at least 1 lap. And that's a quick rundown of all of our classes. And again, the top 20 now have checked in with 2 laps complete, but man, there's not a lot of classes that have riders with 2 laps complete in it so far. Again, it's Fowler, this is what it was, but it has changed quite a bit, and we should be seeing that in the next 15 minutes or so when a checker flag comes out. Who will it be? That's the big question right now. It says Fowler, Neal, Hunter Hart, Jared McClure, Chris Borch, but we know the last visual we saw on them, Landon Wolf, was not that at all.
No, I believe, from what I could tell, I saw McClure in the lead with Borch and Hunter Hart behind him. I know that both of those guys are on yellow bikes, so it's kind of hard to pull them apart in these conditions. But yeah, I mean, anything could happen at this point. I mean, the 7th place rider could still come back and get a win here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't count anybody out of this race right now. I mean, you could have a guy from the College A class end up winning this. I mean, in reality, I mean, that's what these conditions sometimes can yield for us in circumstances like this.
Not to mention, not even the bikes, but I mean, your eyes can only take so much of this, and you know, you can do a lap without goggles, and you can maybe do another lap without goggles, but eventually your eyes just start to hurt too bad to the point where you really can't see. So
now let's talk a little bit about this, because I know that's what Mikey was talking about this morning as the morning class race came in. Talked about people's eyes and getting them washed out and how red they were. Talked about your eyes, and looking at your eyes right now, they're still pretty red and pretty scratched up, it looks like. Are they better than they were after the race, or are you just...
yeah, I mean, when I crossed the finish line, I honestly couldn't hold my eyes open. It was bad. I mean, like I say, you know, I ran the 2nd lap without goggles, and it wasn't so bad, and I got some goggles for the 3rd lap, and 4th lap came around and broke another set and ran the entire set without goggles, or the entire lap without goggles. By the time I was coming through that last field section, I mean, I was pretty much just blinking every now and then, opening my eyes to make sure I'm going in the right direction still. Those field sections were just so bad, and it's continued to rain since then. I know those field sections are getting worse, and You know, we're an hour and 43 minutes into this race, and these guys, not only are their motors hurting, but I'm sure their eyes are feeling it as well.
Well, I tell you what, you know, we talked about anything can happen, and mentioning again the whole Hunter Hart scenario, the 10 years ago that he took his first ever class win, and to be able to come here today, if he gets a podium, would be great. But what if he did get a win as a rookie, the final race of the season? That would be huge.
It's so possible too. Like it's not a long shot at this point.
No, it's not at all.
A win is 100% possible for Hunter Hart right now.
And you know, it's kind of funny. I talked to Hunter about it today. Obviously, conditions make for different situations and scenarios, but we talked about bridging the gap, and that's what he has to do. There's that 4 or 5 minute window that he's got to bridge between himself and the next level of riders, which basically is the podium contenders that he's going to be chasing down. That's what we were talking about. What if he finishes this season? I mean, obviously a podium position finish or even a 4th place finish, being in podium contention most of the day like that would be, I think, something monumental for his program. But like I said, the win, I mean, how much momentum would that carry you through the year?
I mean, Hunter Hart, I think Hunter Hart's one of the hardest workers out there, no matter what. I know he stays in Florida all winter long, and he trains his butt off. So, you know, I think he would put in an incredible amount of work either way. But like you say, if he were to come out of Ironman, the last race of the 2019 season, off of a win or even a podium, that's going to push him that much harder all winter, because he's going to like the feeling of standing up on that podium.
And I think that bridge that needs to be gapped will have been taken care of, because we know that he can run the speeds that the guys run up front. When you look at his lap times from the Xc2 Pro-Am class, he was running basically the same speeds as the top 5 guys in the Xc1 class. But it is a different, you know, it's a different scenario when you're racing those guys heads up out there. But if he gets that confidence with a win or a podium here today, it might tell a whole different story in 2020, and I believe that's possible. Hunter's like another one of those kids. Once he starts winning, and he's going to be a threat and a factor, and to force a force to factor. And I think Walker Fowler even knows and recognizes that.
Yeah, I think he has a similar story to Bryson Neal. He's been very, very successful all through his career, just like Bryson was. And Bryson came into the pro class, and same thing. You know, Bryson's first year in pro was the same year that it was my first year in pro, and it took Bryson a little bit to get going. It took him a little bit to put it all together, but I think it was Somerset, I believe, was his first pro podium, and man, ever since then he's just getting closer and closer and closer. And then I believe last year he finally put it together at the Georgia race and got his first win. And man, it's been a constant upswing since then.
Yep, and watching this unfold, somebody's going to have a major upswing today again. Walker Fowler out of this one. Once we get some official words to report, we will do that. Otherwise, be watching obviously social media and any press releases that may be coming out shortly after this event. We may have some details to afford to you folks by that. But looking at an hour now and 47 minutes, nearly end of this race, originally scheduled for 2 hours. Then we obviously, because of the conditions, backed it off to an hour and a half. But because of the conditions and the length of the track,
it's 2 hours.
It's bringing it right up to that 2 hour mark. Yep. I mean, right now, if it was an hour and 47 minutes in and 6 minutes, would be an hour and 53. Yeah, it would be just 7 minutes. And we've seen that happen on more than one occasion this year, where we're just 5 to 7 minutes just shy of that 2 hour completion.
Yeah, whether we would have scheduled for a 2 hour race or a 1.5 hour race, we would have ended up with the same amount of laps today, and we would have ended up with the same finishing.
But it was a good call and a good effort, because I'm sure we were banking on the fact that they'd be 30-minute lap times and things like that.
Man, with these conditions, they're just they're running really, really slow lap times, and they're getting slower, I believe.
Yeah, well, no actually, they actually got faster. They were 38, almost 39 minutes, and 40 minutes. We're down to 37:51, 36:32 for Bryson Neal the last time he came around, 36:12 for Hunter Hart the last time he came around, 36:19 for Jared McClure the last time he came around, and 36:38 for Chris Borich. So all those guys picked up the pace immensely. Walker Fowler even picked up the pace quite a bit, but we've seen him with extended stops and obviously some sort of issue that was going on that may have caused what we are hearing possibly happen. I want to point out, of course, we got Jordan Poplaski, as we said, 10th. Then in the 11th, Tanner Walker, Michael McAvoy. That's your top 3 in the Xc2. And then then you got 13th place Seth Wilson, who is 14th place in that class, and he's just a handful of seconds behind McAvoy. So we still got a good battle going on for the top 3 in the Xc2 Pro-Am. But how about this? 14th overall, Big Papa Pete, Jeff Pickens, with only a 2.2-second lead over James Green. They're first and second in class. They're 14th and 15th overall, which puts them as top amateurs as of right now. Got Kenny Schick back there in the number 16 spot. Chase Allen's in 17th. Kevin Yoho, who's third in the Vet A 30-plus class. He's 18th overall. Get this, Junior B 22-plus class leader out of West Milton, Ohio, the 411 of Jacob Allball, is 19th place overall after 2 laps. And South Salem, Ohio's Cody Vanderliner, I believe he is 2nd place now in the College A class. Yes, behind Chase Allison by about 6 minutes and 11 seconds. 6 minutes and 11 seconds, and he's still top 20 overall right now from the College A class. And how about the Junior B rider, 19th place overall?
That is impressive. It goes back to the great equalizer. Here we are, the FMF PowerPoint. We should be seeing these guys soon. I mean, I know they're doing in like 4 minutes, so looks like they've slowed up a little bit this lap. But I just got a text from Stuart Baylor, who's out walking the track right now. And I don't know if all you quad guys are, I'm sure most of you know who Stuart Baylor is. And Rodney, you can agree with this. He's a pretty gnarly dude. And for him to say, it's so bad, I've never seen it like this.
Really?
It must be pretty bad.
It must be.
For a guy like him to say that, man, it's got to be gnarly.
Because he's been at the worst of the worst races.
Yeah, and he likes the gnarly stuff. So for him to say that, that's. But then again, there's another broken chain right here at the FMF PowerPoint. That's just claiming people left and right this year.
And it's just a big old gnarly mulch pile.
It is. A couple stones, a little bit of mulch, and that guy is not happy with
No,
his
he's
chain.
not. Very frustrated individual right there. So close, but yet so far away.
We got to be seeing these guys come through here soon, though. I mean, I guess they're doing
in less than 3 minutes.
Yeah. All right, we got something on screen now.
A big cloudy field.
that looks like a.
He's moving fast enough to be an Xc1 Pro Class rider. It is.
It looks like a Yamaha.
That is a number. Is that the 4?
That's either Borch or Hart. It's got to be. I know whoever it is, they got company. That's got to be Jared McClure right behind him. That looks like Borch.
Yeah, so I was going to say, body-wise, if it's a Suzuki we're looking at right there, that has to be Borch just by the body stature.
That has to be McClure there.
Yeah.
That's definitely McClure right behind him. And I gotta say that's Borch. Here we go. We'll get a better look.
Yeah. That is Chris Borch.
No, it's not. That is a Yamaha. Is it? That is 100% a Yamaha. Gotta be. That's gotta be.
Is that Hunter Hart then?
It's gotta be Hunter Hart.
Is it Hunter Hart? I think it is Hunter Hart. I think you're absolutely right. It is a Yamaha. It is yellow. And Hunter Hart may be on his way to Checkers. And that big anniversary win we were talking about right here at the Ironman 10 years ago and doing it as a rookie. What an amazing feat for this young rider if he's able to pull this off. I know we were talking about it was all about the hype and stuff, but how about this? I'm getting super pumped up right now.
This could be Hunter Hart's big day. I mean, never getting a podium, and it looks like he is leading the race right now. Holy cow. This is huge.
I am so pumped for this young kid, man. I mean, to see him to work his way into that and to see the struggles, and I know look at the look in his eye of frustration and just want to be doing better and want to be up there racing with those guys. And to, like we said, the scenarios that this right here, monumental, so huge going into the off season. It's going to be a whole different sophomore season for Hunter Hart.
The worst thing about Hunter Hart right now is he probably realized that the person behind him, his nickname is the Sneaky Snake. So you just got to hold it together for a little while longer. Now this is just on the backside of the FMF PowerPoint where the camera is right now, and that is still. That I know that's Hunter Hart. It's his SG him. Mud plugs and everything, but the Sneaky Snake hot on his heels, and we know this field section out here is one of the most brutal sections of the track. So can he hold the Sneaky Snake off?
Well, I know that Hunter Hart is certainly has been used to in his career in past, having the pressure applied to him and being able to rise to the occasion. The question is, will it be that way in an XC1 battle and in these types of conditions? Wow, he got held up a little bit in that turn, but so did the second.
Did Jared. I mean, look, Jared's he actually ended up pulling on him a little bit. I mean, this is just huge. I mean, can you imagine what's going through Hunter Hart's mind right now? I mean, never even been on the XC1 podium, and he is rolling through the last wood section right now. There's Joe Borch. Looks like he's still looking for the next rider. There's John Glauda on screen, it looks like. So he must have gotten going again. That's just after pro pits. It looks like John Glauda anyway.
All right, we're going to know something here pretty soon. Is that Hunter Hart? Is that your leader? And who is going to take the win at the 25th running of the Ironman GNCC? Will it be the rookie, Hunter Hart? Will someone else step up and make things happen? I tell you, folks, we are just mere moments away as we approach the 1 hour, 55-minute mark here in this race at Ironman GNCC. And as we can see, the insides of these turns getting deeper and tougher to negotiate. We can see by the lap times. We see by the amount of laps turned, by the amount of riders that didn't even make a lap or only made one lap, that this track has certainly been a challenge and a force to reckon with today. It's just a matter of waiting and biding our time to find out who is going to come out on top. Will it be the historic finish that Hunter Hart is looking for in that 10th anniversary since his first GNCC race win as a youth rider so many years ago? Possibly, folks, that may be what we're looking at here today from a historic portion of GNCC racing, celebrating 25 races here in these soils.
Yes, this is what a way to celebrate. But we're going to be hearing these guys roll through behind the RacerTV booth that we're in right now, which is going to kill me because I can't see them.
Hey, you jump out there and take a look at it, man.
No, I'm going to wait to see them. They're going to be on. They got to be on screen here in I would say a minute at the most. I know it's some tight woods from where we last saw them. It's some tight woods where there's really hardly any passing in there, but then they do jump on the motocross track for just a couple switchbacks, which would probably be the only place McClure is going to be able to make the pass into the lead. So Hunter Hart is in just spectacular position to make this happen.
And it has been confirmed by track crew that is Hunter Hart in the #1 spot. The #2 of Jared McClure is your second place rider as we had anticipated. And folks, I can tell you that if you're watching at home on RacerTV, you got to be sitting on the edge of your seats. There they go.
You can hear them behind us. They're going to be coming on screen in a matter of seconds now.
All right, folks, are you ready for the history to be made here at Ironman GNCC? We're starting to see them make their way in. Hunter Hart being challenged by the Sneaky Snake. Who is going to be able to take away this win here today? Will it be the rookie?
It's Hunter Hart still in the lead.
Hunter Hart into the chicanes with McClure hot on his wheels. One final turn, and the checkers fly for the rookie. Hunter Hart takes the win at the AMSOIL Ironman GNCC. Wow, 10 years later, after his first GNCC victory as a youth rider, he finished second overall, if I'm not mistaken, behind Josh Merritt, if I'm not mistaken, but whoever it was, second overall, first class win.
Look, Hunter Hart thinks he got second. He's holding up the #2 like I just got second. He doesn't even know that
Look at the surprise on his face. Look at that. That right there, folks. We're about ready to see an emotional moment. There's Mama.
Walker Fowler was out.
Exactly. He didn't even realize it. Mikey Waynes is right there. Look at the look of surprise on Hunter Hart's face right now. He thought he was battling for second place, had no idea that he just took the win and made history once again in GNCC racing. I don't know of anybody. I know Walker Fowler set a lot of records, but this kid came behind and broke darn near every one of them and set his own new record here today.
I saw him throw up the #2, like kind of confusing amazingly, and his mom is like, no, you won, buddy. And there we have Borch.
There's a battle for third. I'm sorry, there's a battle for third. Chris Borch will come through in this one, I believe. So the way we're looking at it, Hunter Hart takes the win, Jared McClure in second, and the winningest GNCC racer of all times, Chris Borch, will round out the podium in a third-place position with Cole Richardson less than 1 second behind him in fourth place. Wow, this race certainly took a big turn from what we saw earlier on. To recap this one, we saw Walker Fowler get out front early on in this one. We saw that Hunter Hart latched on with the front part of the group. He held there all day long. We saw that Walker Fowler stretched out a 2-minute lead on the first lap. Then it started to shrink. Then we saw what appeared to be maybe some issues or some sort of problems taking place. Then we start hearing the reports that Walker Fowler has broke down and is out of the race, and there may be even more of an issue than that. We know that that's the case. So with that, then Hunter Hart and, well, Bryson Neal, I guess, was in second there for a while. Then Hunter Hart, somehow or another, he works his way into second. Jared McClure is behind him, and they come to the finish line first and second, not even realizing that Walker Fowler was out of this one. They go 1 and 2, and Chris Borch will round out the top 3. What an amazing race day here at Ironman Raceway, one that is surely not going to be forgotten anytime soon. Remember what we said? It's days like today when memories are made.
Yeah, it really is, man. That is. I'm just too pumped for him. It's awesome to see him do it without him even knowing. I mean, that's brilliant.
It is. And you know, we were joking around, and he said, "You never know. I might, it's muddy, anything." He even said that. We talked about it. We joked around about it, and I know both of us were like, "Yeah, the chances of that are going to be pretty tough." Not taking anything away from him, but we know how strong and how tough everyone is out there in these types of conditions, and to be a rookie and to be able to pull this off, wow, that's even that much better. Sounds like Mikey Waynes is about ready down there in the finish line. Mikey, well, we got you on here, man. Wow, how much surprise did Hunter Hart have whenever he found out that he won that one? That was pretty amazing watching that unfold from right here on the TV. Let's go ahead and head on down and pick things up with you, Mikey. What's going on, buddy?
Thanks, Rodney. Hunter Hart, I don't know what to say, man. Ironman champion. And you're a rookie. Say something.
Dude, yeah, it's been, I was talking with Rodney in my pre-race interview that 10 years ago here, I got my first ever podium, and I was second, and then I thought I was second. I was like, wow, history's repeating itself, and then I came through, and they were like, you won? I was like, no, I didn't. Walker won. And they were like, no, he broke, and that's just a bummer for him, but absolutely phenomenal for us. I was so pumped, like I think I went through 9 pairs of goggles out there, and yeah, it was awesome, I couldn't see much of anything at times, but I knew I saw the sneaky snake was sneaky, and I knew he was gonna go for it on that last lap. And we've had a couple Winoas this year that were super muddy like this one, so I knew I just had to hold him at bay, and I could control this one to the end.
What did you call yourself? The mud? What was it? The mud specialist, Hunter Hart. He's an XC1 rookie taking his first win here at the Ironman GNCC.
Yeah. Congratulations, Hunter Hart, on that big win, that monumental win, and of course history being made here. As we said, I mean, what better way? I mean, to have your best. I mean, 2 great memories here at Ironman. I mean, he could walk away from this place, never come back to the Ironman, and have such fond memories of this place. I mean, there's not. I mean, you take away memories and you talk, but not many people get to take away a memory like this.
No, it's certainly not. And it's actually funny because Jared McClure ended up second, Chris Borch ended up third. My first and only XC1 Pro podium was here at Ironman with Chris and Jared on the podium with myself. So
wow,
very cool to see him do this, and man, it's just exciting for him. I couldn't be more pumped.
No doubt. Let's head on back down to the winner's circle with Mikey Waynes.
Having trouble hearing you down here. Jared McClure, man, you're shivering. A second place finish. Did you know you were in second, or were you thinking, man, I'm pulling it in for a third?
I honestly thought we were battling for a second. I didn't know it was for the win, but I was still trying to pass him. It was just so hard. I had no goggles on. My eyes were I tried a couple spots right here at the end. I tried to cut inside and just spun out a little. I mean, really, Hunter was dialed. He had all the lines. You know, congrats to him. He put in a good ride. It was just so hard to even try to pass. I mean, there was mainly one good line, and you know, we hit a couple lappers there, kind of mixed up a little bit. But you know, like I said, he was on, and you know, I mean, I just happy to be on the box on a day like today. I mean, this Honda's like a submarine, man. I don't know how it ran. Stuff we put it through, like water just everywhere. It's so wet out there, but happy to have a second.
There you go, Jared McClure, the Cobra himself. He said it, man. This thing was like a submarine out there.
So I know we had a lot of bike issues out there, and I was just taking notice. We have 3 different manufacturers on the podium, though. We got a Yamaha, we got a Honda, and we have a Suzuki that all finished the race. So.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. It wasn't one brand that
no dominations like that. That's interesting. I think that's pretty cool. I think did you happen to see Chris Borch's eyes in the background? How he looks like a raccoon back there. So
and I don't know if it benefits him at all, but I know Jared and Chris both wear contacts, so I don't know if that helps them in the mud. Their eyes are a little bit tougher. Or no?
I don't know, man. That'd be a good question. Maybe Mikey can ask Chris Borch as he's standing by with Mikey Waynes right now.
Thank you, Rodney. Well, Chris Borch, man, finishing off a 3rd place finish here today. You've raced a lot of Ironmans. How does this one stack up against the rest?
Brutal. Non-stop, and we didn't make the right call on tires. We should have did a 23-22 setup, but hey, we were able to get through, and goggles were huge today as well. So my goggles were working awesome out there, and just trying to keep moving. And last lap there was just chaos everywhere, lappers all over. So we were able to pick our lines. And come in here and get 3rd.
Come here and get 3rd, man. All right, Chris, what's the expectation heading into the off season and into 2020?
Hopefully we're going to still push for it, and not really sure what we'll be on just yet. We're going to try some different stuff here soon. So, but yeah, we'll be back and try to push it.
Try to push it. There you go. Chris Borch, your 3rd place finisher here today at the Ironman GNCC.
Wow, what a day. Congratulations to Chris Borch as well. And to hear that, knowing that he's searching still and looking and maybe going to make some changes in bikes and things like that in the future, going to test some things out. That means it goes to show you that he is still very hungry and he still wants a piece of the action up front. And racing in conditions like this out here, as he said, brutal. I'm sure Chris is at a point in his career, 75 wins, 6 national championships. He could walk away and be completely satisfied with a major accomplishments throughout his life. But he's still hungry. I think he wants one more. I think he wants more wins. Let's take a look at that top 10 leaderboard, courtesy of our friends at Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Hunter Hart taking the win. Jared McClure in 2nd. Chris Borch in 3rd. The Cold Train finishing up in 4th. Bryson Neal will come across the line in the number 5 position. Looks like
that's actually all we have.
Yeah, that's all that's came through so far.
The top 10 after the top 5 there. I mean, that is from last lap, but after, I guess, Bryson Neal was the last to come through. So we're still waiting on some guys. I know some people over in the pits, they're saying that something big must have happened out there the last lap because they're not really getting anybody through the pits at this point. And as you can see, this here is why.
Yeah. This is just some of the gnarliness that these riders had to contend with out here on this day. Again, Ironman Hill being taken out of the equation, but right here you can see plenty of other obstacles that kept the fans and the racers quite busy today. Well, that's pretty much going to wrap things up for us here from Ironman on a Saturday. Craig Morgan coming up tonight. If you're anywhere in the neighborhood, come on out. You don't want to miss that. It's all going to get underway at 9 o'clock tonight. Come join us in our pink race as we take a look at some of the highlights from this year's Ironman GNCC. And with that, that'll do it. On behalf of Mikey Waynes and, of course, my good buddy right here, Mr. Landon Wolf, the 4x4 Pro Class champion, I'm Rodney Tomlin saying